And we are live. Hey, everybody, this is Roberto Blake helping you create something awesome today. Welcome back to the channel. So we've got another live YouTube strategy session for you. We try and do these now. You get them twice a week, if not 3 times a week. So if you're watching this, make sure you check out the replay with the timestamps. If you're watching this live right now at home, you know what to do. Make sure you're sharing out the live stream so that other creators can get help. And also shout out and to our sponsor and our good friends over at StreamYard. They're allowing us to stream this on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn Live, Twitter, well, formerly Twitter, now x.com. And also, we're breaking the multi-streaming agreement. We're doing it on Twitch too. We're just having at it. So we're on all 5 of these platforms at once, thanks to our friends at StreamYard. Link is supposed to be in the description down below. So today we're going to be talking about content strategies for you for starting a YouTube channel in 2023, everything you need to know. In fact, actually, I have to queue up the presentation for that. I have to queue up our presentation because we're not just going to be doing regular old talking head style. We're not even just going to be deep diving into analytics. We are going to be doing a full-on presentation and training today. And the main thing I have to do is I just have to queue this up here on the screen to share it with you. Give me one moment. That's the one thing I did not do and set up beforehand here. So I'm just going to make sure that I have AirDrop. And we're going to move that over to the screen right here. I love Apple computers. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you like the stream. Make sure you share it out while we get this up and running. Let's see. AirDrop, AirDrop, AirDrop. And it looks like that came through. Yep. So let's go ahead and pull that up onto the screen into our slides, and it's uploading here. And you're going to really dig this presentation. I put this together in Canva for you. And actually, in my list of software for this presentation, I wish that I'd remembered to list Canva. I listed everything but Canva, apparently. But we'll just kind of like remember to kind of slide Canva right up in there. But okay, we've got a presentation for you. How to start a YouTube channel. So this is the 2023 edition. This is the definitive guide for basically everything you need to start a YouTube channel. And we're going to go heavily into it. We will answer some questions for you. I'm going to star some of the questions, but we will prioritize super chats. And we'll particularly, do the super chats that are over $10 for sure, but we'll try to read all of them. We'll try to read all of them, but I guarantee you on the ones over $10. All right, so we're going ahead and we got the chats. Thank you so much to everybody who is chatting right now. We've got over 100 of you live at the start. So let's go ahead and dig into this. First of all, some quick background on me for anyone who's new to the channel or new to the stream. I'm Roberto Blake. I'm a creative entrepreneur, public speaker, podcaster, best-selling author of Create Something Awesome, How Creators Are Profiting from Their Passion in the Creator Economy. And why am I teaching you YouTube? Why am I teaching YouTube? Roberto, you don't even get 1 million views a month. Well, because I've learned the art of monetizing content to such a degree to where I don't have to chase views nearly as much. And that's why I can sit here and do 2 and 3 hour live streams teaching you guys this stuff. And I feel it's some of the best content out there. I think it's better than some of the $500 courses out there. And I can give it to you straight. I have almost 600,000 subscribers, 40 million views, over 1,600 videos I've uploaded and edited by myself as a solo creator. I would be bigger and getting more views if I wasn't doing everything myself. I'm a solo creator, which means this is still something, even as an outlier result, that a person can do without a large team. You can get hundreds of thousands of subscribers by yourself without a large team, editing your own content if you're determined to do that. I don't recommend it without a doctor's note, by the way. So, little rough to be a solo content creator. However, I've also done over 200 plus now pieces of sponsored content. I think I've worked with 100 brands. I have generated well over $500,000 in lifetime affiliate commissions. We've shown that on screen before. 400,000 just with TubeBuddy alone as an affiliate. Thank you to our friends at TubeBuddy. We've shown my lifetime digital download sales in the back end of Kajabi before. The coaching business in 5 years has grossed over $560,000 in revenue. Digital products that are downloads, not courses, downloads alone, over $150,000. Over $250,000 in YouTube ad revenue with RPMs of $10 to $40. That's why I don't need to get 1 million views on YouTube. I get very high RPM rates in YouTube. Roughly for every 100,000 views on YouTube, I make about $1,000 to $1,500 for every 100,000 views on YouTube. So AdSense isn't bad, but it's clearly not my best revenue stream. I built 17 streams of income by myself by 37. I'm now 39. I wish it was 19 streams of income by 39 because that would be a better claim to fame. Now, that just gives you context and background if you're new here for why is this guy talking to me? What's he going on? What he's got going on? If you're an education-based creator, you don't need millions of views a year or a month to do very well on YouTube. There are a lot of ways to monetize. We will talk about the 6 paths of profit later in the presentation. 6 paths of profit. For those of you who are on a big screen anywhere or you want to get access to Awesome Creator Academy, I've got a great QR code here for you that you can just snap if you want to check that out. Also, you can visit awesomecreatoracademy.com and everything that I put out over there. We are ad-free on the videos and articles over there. They're advertiser-free. I only promote my own products over there, so no ads on those videos on Awesome Creator Academy and no ads on those articles. It's just my own products. And you can also join the Academy Pro group. We also have some resources that are very affordable for new creators that start at $9.99, including some thumbnail templates to help you out, our creator success blueprints with all of our PDFs, and also we have the AI creator prompts for ChatGPT that I trained all of you on a couple of weeks ago to make your titles, generate ideas, and we have 200 productivity prompts for creators with the creator prompts. So those are $9.99. All that's at awesomecreatoracademy.com. So you can check that out. So YouTube's unbeatable. YouTube's unbeatable. YouTube will never, ever, ever have a real competitor. And we will be getting into things you need to know. Cameras, lighting gear, video editing software, graphic software, video editing computers. We'll get into all of that. But you need to know that YouTube is unbeatable. YouTube has the best monetization of every single creator platform and has the most ways to monetize. They have 10 ways to monetize directly on the platform now. They have the most variety of formats out of every content creator ecosystem right now. They have the best platform for evergreen content. You post content anywhere, it's dead in a day, it's dead in a week. YouTube, it can get brought back to life 6 months later after the fact. So YouTube is unbeatable. It is the second largest search engine in the world. It has the best overall options for fan funding, the best analytics. YouTube is the GOAT. It is the best, and it will never, ever, 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 in my opinion, have a true competitor. So if you're not prioritizing YouTube and you're watching on any of the other platforms right now, you need to start a YouTube channel. You need to understand this. You need to take advantage of it. Content can pop later. It's evergreen. It can print money long term. YouTube is the best. Hashtag not sponsored by Team YouTube. So what do you need to start a YouTube channel? If you're starting a YouTube channel, you obviously need to sign up, get a Google account, build out that, set up your email. We already know this. If you guys want me to set up a channel from scratch, I will do that in the future. We'll try it. Maybe somehow, some way, I will figure out some version of a channel launch challenge that I might do, something like that. But yeah, it's really, really powerful. Hey, Boomtown Marketing, how's it going? So yeah, Stephanie, are you coming to Vid Summit? Let me know. So yeah, what do you need? What you need is you can start with what you have. If you have a smartphone's all you have, that's enough. If all you have is a smartphone, that's enough to start YouTube. There are plenty of creators who start like this, they grow later, and then they change it up. So you can start with what you have. Now, with that being said, is it better to have a camera? It is absolutely better to have a camera. So let's go to me real quick. This is not the camera I started out with on YouTube. In fact, This $200 looking toy camera was one of the first good YouTube cameras, had a flip out screen. This is a Sony HD Webby back when 1080p was new to the platform. And this is all we had. And me and a lot of creators started out with something simple like this. You can still watch those videos from me from 2009 that started with this. And that's what we had. Fast forward. This is how it started. This is how it's going. This is how it started. This is how it's going. So we got that meme going, right? But here's the thing. This phone is an iPhone 12 Pro Max. This is outdated. Next week, I get the new 15. I'm like, a miser. I literally wait 3 years to upgrade my phone. I'm a miser, right? So that's how I afford the camera gear, is by being a miser, being Scrooge. But this phone is better than most of the cameras we started out with over the last 10 years. Like, it's that good. So you can start with your phone, and that's perfectly fine. And it's a good tool for anyone who wants to get started. Now, with that in mind, you need a couple other things. Lighting gear actually makes a huge difference in quality, whether you're using your phone or you're using a camera. And the thing is, I will be going over, just so you know what's coming up in the slides, I'm going to go over a lot of different things. I'm going to go over graphic software, video editing software, camera options, cost, all of those things. You will have that, so you might want to take notes. Big fan of taking notes over here. In fact, one of these days, we're going to put together notebooks, workbooks, all those kind of things for you guys. We're probably even going to start assignment sheets. Roberto is going to be giving you out homework and assignment sheets. I'm not even joking. We're going full lecture mode. I'm giving you YouTube University. And my hope is that you will go from this free content and you'll join us over at Awesome Creator Academy, where we can help you directly in our group, in our ongoing evergreen cohort. We have a group program. We have the pro group, and we can help you directly. Now, what I will tell you is that when you're getting started, lighting is probably much more important than upgrading your camera gear right away. Lighting and your audio and your microphone will make the biggest difference in the world. Now, what I'm using right now for this, and I think I can switch it to here where you might be able to see just a little bit of it. I'm using panel lights right now. So I'm using panel lights. These are Elgato panel lights. They are $200 a piece. You do not need to go that far. You can get a lot of light for $200 instead of having $400 worth of panel lights. That's not a bad idea, but you can start with what you have in terms of a couple of things. One, you could film outdoors with something like the Sony ZV-1F $500 camera, very similar to being an upgrade to my old Webby, if you think about it. And you could film with this outside. You could use natural lighting, for example, right? But you could also go ahead and you can use some very soft lights. We have several options of lights that are under $300 to give you all you would ever need for a professional YouTube setup. So when it comes to lighting, that's going to be probably more important than the camera when it comes to the quality of your videos. Now, beyond that, you're definitely also going to need microphones. Microphones become extremely important. Right now, I'm using the good old Joe Rogan microphone. I'm using the Shure SM7B, and that's giving me that podcaster quality. And that's kind of what a lot of us would want. And that's extremely helpful. Okay. Once you have the lights, camera, and the audio, that is basically what you need to be able to make quality content from a production standpoint for your audience. There are other things and other accessories you can get. Now, if you want to get into camera gear and camera settings, that's where having something like a 16 to 35 millimeter lens or a 24 to 70 millimeter lens, f2.8, that's what you're going to want when it comes to this. And you're going to obviously want, flip out screen, that sort of thing. This bad boy is the Sony FX3 Cinema line. This is something I use for my interviews and for all of my B-roll. And that's very expensive. When you put that lens on it, that's about $6,000 worth of camera gear just between the camera and the lens. My general YouTube setup, if you really calculate it, when I'm sitting here in the studio, is about $10,000, which you do not need. Videos I've made on an entire setup that was $1,500 have done just as well as my $10,000 setup. So don't think that quality and production is the answer to getting more views. It helps with subscribers, by the way. I have converted subscribers at a higher rate, meaning that For all the views I get, I turned more of those casual viewers into subscribers, converted them at a higher percentage than many big YouTubers. And what I mean by that is there's a difference between getting 50 million views to get 500,000 subscribers and turning 40 million views into 600,000 subscribers. The person who got less views but turned them into more subscribers means that they made content that resonated more with the people who did watch it. So I need you guys to stop thinking, here's how many views I should get. If I have 10,000 subscribers, I should be getting 1,000 views on every video. No, you need to stop thinking that way. And you need to think, if I got 100,000 views, that should turn into my first 1,000 subscribers to get me monetized. If I can get to 100,000 views, and if I turn 1% of those people into subscribers, then I've got 1,000 subscribers. You should start thinking that every 100,000 views should be 1,000 subscribers for you. Now, when I get 250,000 subscribers in a month, I turn that into 3,000 to 4,000 subscribers. When I get 250,000 views in a month, I turn that to 3,000 to 4,000 subscribers. That means that the information, the production quality, my personality are turning more people into subscribers from being casual viewers. So that's a conversion rate. You want to start thinking that way. That's a lot better for you. Okay. Higher production values also let you work with brands and sometimes charge brands more money because of the quality of what represents them. So you want to really consider that. Now, when it comes to other things, you're going to need some video editing software. I'm going to recommend some for you. It doesn't have to break the bank. Free software is fine as long as that free software has enough features to let you do the creative work you're really wanting to do. And so for that reason, I don't always recommend free software. Budget software is fine. I did a whole video on 6 free and budget softwares. You can definitely check that video out. It's on the playlist on the homepage. We'll talk about that. There's a lot of follow-up information that I have on the main YouTube channel because I have videos and tutorials around all of this. But software becomes very important. I use Adobe Premiere Pro because it's what I'm used to, and I've been using it for over 20 years. It's just what I'm used to. Same thing for Adobe Photoshop. I use it because I've been using it for over 20 years. I'm 39. It's what I'm used to. So for your video editing software, your graphics editing software, use what you have. Now, for video editing computers and such, you'll want to, again, usually work with what you have. A lot of you're going to want a MacBook of some kind, but you might not be able to afford that. If you need something cheaper than a used MacBook Pro, I recommend getting the Samsung Galaxy Book Pro for about $800, and it can do most of what you need, but it's going to be Windows instead of Apple. So it is what it is as far as that. So keep that in mind. Like I already told you, I'm using the Shure SM7B, but you can use other microphones. The Blue Yeti is okay if you're doing podcast style. It's not the best. There are better microphones out there that are relatively about the same price. If you are needing to do anything on a budget for microphones, we have a lot of options. We'll talk about deity microphones that you can put on top of your camera. But let's go ahead and move on to something else here. We will be revisiting this idea a little later, but this is kind of a lot of what I teach. I teach people how to understand the clarity and value that their videos are creating for people. And that means that's your ideas and that's your packaging. So that's the topic, title, thumbnail, and timing. That's really what value is when we talk about value. We're talking about what does the viewer want to click on and why are they clicking on it and getting that clear. Now, in our previous live stream session that you can watch right now, I believe we did that on Friday. You can go back and we went into your audience avatar, understanding your audience and creating value for the viewer. And so we talk about that. We also talk about what quality is. And in terms of quality, quality is the experience that viewers have. So the quality of the video is the experience viewers have. And that is performance, production, and personality. So the performance part is you. It's you being on camera. It's how you communicate. It's how you connect emotionally with the audience. And it's also your confidence on camera, your charisma. Okay. Then if we talk about production, that's lights, camera, audio. Lights, camera, audio, that's your production side. That's what's going into the camera. So between performance and production, that's going into the camera. Personality, this is where the edits happen. That is structure, storytelling, and style. So your style is your visual style. It's the way that you're editing. It's your look. It's your sound effects. That's your style. It's your brand. Structure is making sure you have that 3-act structure. You have tension at the beginning. You have beginning, middle, end, all that stuff. You have good hooks, good scripting. You could look at structure as the scripting of the video. And then you have storytelling that ties it all together, which is the combination of everything and how you present it and how you fulfill the idea and the promise of the video. And that's your storytelling. So you can look at all of that and you can say, that's what a quality video is. Now, strategy is all about how often am I publishing? What formats am I doing? Am I doing live stream? Am I doing a podcast? Am I doing shorts? How many of them am I doing? Strategy. It's, oh, am I making this type of content versus that type of content? What are my content pillars? How am I approaching that? So that is the strategy component. Then monetization. How am I making money from all of this? And so you can see the intersectionality of all this, and that all 4 of these things cannot be lacking if you want optimal growth. You could have high quality videos and they could be high value, but if your strategy is off, you might make the wrong idea in the wrong format and then it underperforms. You might have the wrong vehicle for that video, so then it's going to underperform. Hey, you can have all this stuff going for you, but you have a poor monetization strategy. You're going to be making great content and still be broke. Nobody wants that. So again, all 4 of these things definitely matter. And you should think about these intentionally when you start your YouTube channel. You should think about, what's the value that my viewers get? What am I going to do about my quality? How am I going to really, get there? Now, again, you don't have to always throw money at quality videos. Some of it could be the idea being executed very well from a storytelling standpoint, and that could be very important. Some of it can be carried by your performance, your charisma. You can improve your charisma and storytelling for $0. So that's really good. You can do personality can be improved usually for about $0. Performance can be improved for $0. Production costs money though. So think about it like that. Monetization, you kind of need to go down one of these 6 paths and then combine them and get more out of it. We'll talk about that later. And then we will talk about strategy. So that's just a heads up of being intentional about your channel from the beginning. Now, before we get into the software side of things, let's go ahead and take one of our super chats. Introvert Rockstar says, thanks to your channel, I just found my niche from one video that hit 90K 2 weeks ago, and now my channel is booming. Thank you, bro. Thank you, Introvert Rockstar. I'm so glad to hear that. That is a testimonial that we love to get. We love to see it. We love to see it. So very dope there. And I will have to feed the cat after this, apparently, or let you out. Do you want to eat or do you want to go out? All right. So let's see. Graphic software. Now, obviously, Canva is something we could use. Canva is great, by the way. Canva is great. It should be on this list. I'll correct that later. But Canva is tremendous. Photoshop is what I use. Photoshop is what I like. Photoshop is what I teach. Photoshop is what I love, 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 love. However, Canva is dope too. And so you should absolutely, take advantage of it. I'm going to show you something here. Let me share my screen just to show you kind of like a little bit of why I love Photoshop so much. So Photoshop is incredibly powerful. So this is some stuff I did for the brand deal starter kit, which we sell over at awesomecreatoracademy.com. Should definitely check that out. And so I was able to do a lot of this in Photoshop in a way I might not be able to do in other things. I could kind of sort of cobble this together in Canva, but it would be a lot harder to do than just doing it in Photoshop, if I'm being perfectly honest, and getting it to look the way I want. So Photoshop is the GOAT when it comes to this sort of thing. And it helps me not just with designing stuff for my YouTube channel, but it helps me with designing my own products. Canva is great for presentations like this one. So again, using the tools that you have and doing what you can afford and what's best for you is perfectly fine. And it's more than reasonable to do that and to go in that direction. So Again, I take no issue with people just doing what they can afford. But some tools are better than others, and I would argue that Photoshop is the best of the best of the best. So there is that. Do I have a bias toward it? Probably because it is the thing that I've used the most. I have a little bit of a bias toward it, so I can admit that. That's fine. And one thing I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to post links for everything in the description of this video. I don't think I did that. So links for everything will be in the description if you want to check that out. Photop.com. Photop.com is basically a Photoshop clone that is ad supported, and you can use that. Adobe Express is basically a free tier of Adobe's products, and it has some really good AI tools. Would highly recommend it. Affinity Photo and Affinity Designer are cheap. They're $60 each, and you own them forever. And those are good. They're comparable to Photoshop. They're an Adobe competitor. GIMP is another Photoshop clone. Has a learning curve to it, but you can use that as well. They both open Photoshop files. So does Adobe Express. Adobe Express opens Photoshop files. So if you ever buy any of my products and they have Photoshop file templates, you can use Adobe Express to open them. You can use Affinity products to open them. You can use GIMP to open them, and you can use Photop to open them. And obviously, you can use Photoshop. You cannot use Canva to open Photoshop files. That's kind of the one exception. On the outskirts, does your channel need to be a certain size to join Awesome Creator Academy? Your channel has to at least be monetized on YouTube if you do not own a business. If you do not own a business, your channel on YouTube has to at least be monetized. And then you can join us over in the Awesome Creator Academy Pro Group. Photoshop you pay for monthly or yearly, and you don't ever own it, but you get unlimited free updates from it. And I think it's worth every penny if you're a monetized content creator. If you're monetized, Photoshop and the Adobe Suite is totally worth it because it's basically $2 a day to have access to the same software that the biggest YouTubers use. That's a steal, in my opinion. What about Adobe Elements? Adobe Elements is okay. So video editing software. What do we go with for video editing software? Most of the big YouTubers are using one of the big three: Adobe Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro. That's the big three when it comes to YouTube content creators. That's what everyone uses. Now, DaVinci Resolve is probably the best free product out there. It has a free version, or you can pay $300, own it forever. Final Cut, I think, is $300, own it forever until Apple goes to a subscription model, which they will do. Adobe's on a subscription model. I like Adobe the most, but I would argue that DaVinci Resolve for most of you will be the best option. Then you have the free stuff. You have Adobe Rush. You have CapCut for free. I think those are comparable. Why don't I have iMovie on here? Because iMovie sucks. iMovie sucks. And why does iMovie suck? Because you don't get multiple video and audio tracks on iMovie. And if you want to make modern YouTube videos, you need multiple video and audio tracks. So that's why you want Adobe Rush, Filmora Pro, or CapCut in terms of free or budget stuff. You can also look at Movavi. You can look at a couple other things. But there's no point in using iMovie as it currently stands. Just not worth it. So that's what I would say. Now, camera options. By the way, the reason we big three use Adobe, DaVinci, and Final Cut Pro is also we get tons of great plugins and AI features. And so a lot of the third-party plugins are why we use that software, by the way. And it gives us an advantage because then we get all these crazy things. The effects that Mr. Beast, Ryan Trahan, and Eric use all are because of this type of software. So just be aware of that they do it with Adobe Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve most of the time. Some of them use Final Cut Pro. Justine uses Final Cut Pro, but most of us were Adobe folks or DaVinci Resolve folks. DaVinci Resolve is for Mac and PC. Adobe Premiere is for Mac and PC. Final Cut Pro is only for Mac. Adobe Rush is for Mac, PC, iOS, and Android. So you can use it on all of them. Filmora Pro, I believe, is Mac and PC. And I believe CapCut is browser based, so you can use it on everything, and they have a mobile app. So, camera options, affordable camera options, vlogging cameras. Let's start with the vlogging cameras. Your vlogging cameras are your Sony ZV-1F, which is 500, and your 700 ZV-1. The difference is this has a built-in 24 to 70 millimeter lens built in. So when you turn it on, that pops out. Oh, wait, I don't have this charged, do I? Well, if this was charged, that lens would pop out. And this is not a zoom lens. This is a fixed lens, and it's a 20 millimeter lens. It's a vlogging pancake lens. So these are two of your best budget options. Now, we also talk about the ZV-E10, which does use interchangeable lenses, crop sensor. This is the video quality from that. So this is, I think, a $600, $700 body. I have a $250 20 millimeter lens on it, f2.8. This gives you big YouTuber quality. This is less than $800, $900 worth of kit right here. This is about $900 worth of kit. You get yourself a light, you get yourself a microphone, and for less than $1,200, $1,500, you have a camera that is competitive with every big YouTuber that has 50,000 to 100,000 subscribers right then and there. Blurry background at all, can focus on other things, get you blurry, boom. Perfect autofocus and eye tracking, all the things. So that's that camera quality. Now, if you go to something like the A6700, which is, this one's the A6600, the new A6700 has a flip out screen. I think that runs about $1,300. We have other camera options here that are around $1,500 to $2,500. This is probably one of the more expensive ones with the FX3 Cine line. So those are basically your camera options. So what's the difference here? I like the Sony stuff because of the autofocus, the AI features, the eye tracking, and the colors are really good on it. Very minimal stuff to do there. Also has great apps to help you with stabilization, all those things. And it's relatively affordable. Plus, when you're in the Sony ecosystem, everything moves along to the other Sony cameras. What's the side camera again? That would be the Sony ZV-E10, and the E stands for I think the E stands for no, the E is not interchangeable lens. It's something, I forget what the E is, but basically it's the interchangeable lens camera. So you have that. Why do we use the more expensive cameras if that can do so much for under $1,000? Well, lighting is a big part of it. When you get the more expensive full frame cameras, you have the ability to have better lighting sensitivity, higher quality, and those things can matter if you start becoming a little bit of a snob or you start doing more cinematic content. You also start to get into things like wanting to shoot slow-mo and outdoors and all that. It's like, oh, but I could do that on my phone. It's like, to a degree and with limitations, but your phone is also a phone. And so capacity, storage, overheating, all those become options that you want to think about. And so dedicated cameras are better. Dedicated audio connected to those cameras are better. Things like that. Question, in your opinion, Roberto, what is the best camera and lens to create more sitcom look and skits and videos? Best all around one for that then is either going to be, as far as a lens, either the 24 to 70 f2.8 or the 24 to 105 f4. And then for sitcom stuff, you don't need as much of a blurry background for sitcom looks. If you want a sitcom look, f4 is fine, believe it or not. Especially depending on your lighting conditions, you might be shooting at higher than f4. You might shoot at f8. We'll do an entire deep dive on cameras and lighting, by the way, at some point on this channel. So that's going to be like really important. In terms of a camera, if you want a sitcom look, if you have the budget for it, you're going to want the Cine line cameras. But if you need to do it a little cheaper, get a full frame camera, get the A7C Mark II or the A7R4. Best bang for your buck if you want that sitcom look and you want full frame, you want the shallow depth of field, you want that look that's from Seinfeld or Friends or whatever. That's probably what you're going to get. Like I said, for camera lenses, probably the 24 to 70 f2.8 or the 24 to 105 f4. That's the same thing I use for my interviews. If you watch the interviews I've done on my podcast, you watch the clips so far with Nathan Barry, I Justine, so on and so forth. You'll want to check those out. That's what I'm using. Again, iPhones can be great for starting out, but they can limit your creativity and your options. They also can be awkward for certain situations to film with. They also can be awkward in terms of zooming. They're not perfect. They're good for a beginner, but once you start making any money off your channel, please start to move away from your phone. I know it's convenient, but it's just not the best quality and it's not going to give you the most options for your creativity. So lighting gear. Lighting gear can be really affordable if you know where to look. The Aperture Amaran 60D is 169, and you can use that as a single light with a camera, webcam, or a phone, and that will give you good lighting. Godox has a great light with the SL60W. You can get newer panel lights if you want to have multiple lights for under a couple $100. The Aperture Amaran P60 is really good for $360. Same thing with the 300 C. And also, if you have the money for it, I have the Aperture 600D, or is mine the 600X? Mine's the 600D. So I have the 600D. That's $1,000 light. And that can be helpful. Sometimes you'll want tube lights. Tube lights can be expensive. I use them to just have that extra glow effect. They can be nice for atmosphere. Same thing for LED lights. If you're going to get them for your strip lights, I recommend the Elgato strip lights because then they won't have banding and the color accuracy will be good on camera. That's what's on my background on the wall there is those. So highly would recommend those. For tube lights, you can go with almost anything. I like Aperture for that again, but that's more expensive. So just keep that in mind when it comes to your lighting. And again, is this helping you guys so far in terms of beginners of just knowing like even what to buy, what you need, why to buy it, the budget, all of those things? And you can ask questions, by the way, throughout the stream. But is this helping you with understanding what YouTubers use, what you're going to get out of it, what these things are going to cost you, why we buy the things that we buy? Yes, it's E-mount. That's right. Yep. But yeah, it's helping you very much. Okay, great. So again, equipment. Deity microphones. Deity microphones are great. You get the D4 Mini for $49. The Deity Mic Pro, I think, is $59. If you need a podcast microphone, you can go with the Samson 2QU for $69. I like to use, of course, the Shure SM7B. It's the Joe Rogan microphone. That's $399. My shotgun microphone on my camera is the $299 Sennheiser MKE 600. That's what a lot of big YouTubers use. It's about $300. The Shure SM7 is my travel microphone. It's a USB version of this, and that costs $249. So I still get that Joe Rogan feel and sound. The DoD wireless mic system is actually really good, and that's $169. So you have the ability to have the same audio quality as the big YouTubers if you go with this, and then you can improve that using the free Adobe Audio Enhance tool on their website. And you can make your audio sound studio quality without knowing how to EQ and how to mix audio. So consider that. And then the Hype X Quad is a good mic apparently as well. I've heard that before. So the DJI mics are good, but the DJI mics are very good. They're very expensive, but they're very good. Very good. Apparently, Ulanzi just unveiled a new 40-watt bicolor light for $99 with a built-in battery, and that's very good to start. Thank you, Mr. Camera Junkie. Appreciate you. So, again, this can be affordable, and this can level you up a little bit. Boots and Meds. Any suggestion for class platforms and courses? I'm thinking of Padia, but nervous to commit. Padia is really good, but myself and Ali Abdal are both on Kajabi, and so is Sean Cannell. I highly recommend Kajabi. You can use my link, robertoblake.com/go/Kajabi, and you can use that, or I can just drop a link for you. Give me a second here. I'll drop a link for you in the chat, and I'll paste this to the description later. But I'll just grab it out of, I'll just grab my affiliate link out of the thing here. Get Kajabi to sell courses and memberships. And so I use Kajabi. I'd recommend that. Here you go. That's my affiliate link in the chat. Enjoy. Grab that. I get a small commission if you use it, but highly recommend. That's what we run Awesome Creator Academy on. Megaman14 asks, if you use the Blue Yeti microphone and only do commentary videos, no cam, should I pick up one of these? For the budget, I'd say it's fine, but I think that the Samson 2QU, because of the type of microphone it is, I think is going to be better. And Omar Takori has done reviews on it, so I know that Solid Podcastage has done reviews on it. Podcastage is a great YouTube channel you guys should check out if you're ever looking for audio gear reviews. Podcastage is the man, very good friend, and he does good work, and he does solid, no-nonsense reviews of audio gear. Becoming Ungovernable says, I bought cheaper mics and the artifacts drove me nuts. Yeah, that'll happen. Trust me. How would you promote a creative own animation series on YouTube? Actually, before he changed his content, I actually coached in a session and gave some really good ideas to one of the best animators on YouTube, Young Don. Young Don used to be a really, really good animator. Right now, he's just doing different content, but he got to 1 million subscribers. I did a coaching call with him, and something that we found resonates with a lot of people is stories that are very relatable. If you look at him, if you look at Alex Clark, if you look at Jaden Animations, it's about relatability and things that are familiar. So if you're going to do animation, I would do storytelling based animation and basically storytime animation. Swoozy is the OG when it comes to storytime animation. So I would kind of go more of that route. If we're using a phone for video, do you have any tripod recommendations? It's the same brand that Mr. Camera Junkie was talking about. Having trouble pronouncing it. Ulanzi. Ulanzi is the tripod company I'd recommend for that. I actually have 3 of their tripods for travel. I use them with regular cameras, but they're solid, good build quality, and very affordable and very durable. And you can upgrade to your cameras and still use them later. So would definitely recommend. I'm not in love with the Blue Yeti, but it's okay. It's okay. I just feel like the Samson is going to be better. The Samson Q U2 is going to be better in my opinion, and cheaper. It's going to be better and cheaper somehow. Yeah. The artist Haven says, yeah, hey Trish, I have the Samson and it's way better than the Yeti in my opinion. Hard on equipment as I am working with paint and other such things, but don't let the price fool you. Yeah, it is a better camera for the price. You literally save 30% and get a better better microphone for the price. You save 30% getting the Samson, and it's going to be 30% less, and it's going to give you 50% more. Yep. So let's see. I think we covered microphones pretty well. Let's talk a little bit more about YouTube content strategy. Okay. So content strategy. We need to have clarity when it comes to our YouTube channels. And so I did an entire presentation last week on the clarity framework, and we're not going to rehash the same presentation again, but we do want to study these things that make up clarity: core values, look and feel, understanding our audience, what's our reputation going to be, how are we going to stand out with our individuality, how do we build trust, and what does the audience yield by watching our videos. So getting clarity and understanding the value of your channel is where to start intentionally if you're starting a YouTube channel in 2023. Everything else I've given you up until now is the things you need to do YouTube and to do it well, do it high quality, do it properly, give your audience a good show. They were the tools of the trade. So the first part of our presentation was all about the tools of the trade. Now we're going into the trade itself. Okay, now we're going into the trade itself. For live streaming gear, everything I talked about actually works for live streaming gear. The one thing that you need to know about why I like Sony cameras is with Sony cameras for live streaming, you literally plug the USB Type-C into your computer, and that's all you have to do, and it's now your camera source. So everything I said applies to live streaming, and if you use StreamYard, it all works. So shout out to our sponsor, StreamYard. Make sure you're checking that out. Linked in the description down below. That's why you get StreamYard. It all just works. Great for live streaming, great for podcasting. You can even download the audio side and upload that to your podcast platform of choice. So this all works, okay? Now, we talked about the importance of clarity. It's absolutely important. It is so powerful. But then we have to go to our content buckets, or what I usually call content pillars. Some people call it buckets. I'm rebranding it to content pillars. And so the content pillars are basically, well, what's our channel going to do? And what's it about? What are our topics that make up our channel? And what types of videos are we doing? So if you're an education channel, this goes one way. If you are an entertainment channel, it goes a completely different direction, right? For the sake of argument, let's talk about being an entertainment channel, shall we? When it comes to this, I'm just going to make it very simple by shouting out one of my favorite YouTube channels. I watch almost every day. Star Wars Theory. Star Wars Theory is an entertainment-based YouTube channel covering the Star Wars franchise. So what's on Star Wars Theory? Well, Star Wars Theory's foundation was Star Wars fan films. So it's not fan films, fan theories. Star Wars fan theories, what if stories. So what if stories about the Star Wars universe, that's one content pillar for our Star Wars channel. Another one is lore videos. Lore videos where we talk about the Force, where we talk about the Dark Lords, where we talk about the Jedi, where we talk about that. So then there's lore videos, okay? And that could even have two other pillars under it. It could be canon with what Disney's doing, or it could be legends of everything that came before the Disney acquisition. So boom, now we got two more pillars of our content of, oh, these are the things that a Star Wars fan would like. Because what's our value proposition? If we're a Star Wars channel, our value proposition is we are going to cater to Star Wars fans. So that's our big thing. Now, we could also say, well, we're going to cater to Star Wars fans who like Lucas Star Wars, or we're going to cater to Star Wars fans who like the Old Republic, or we're going to cater to Star Wars fans, and we're only going to talk about the Empire and the dark side and the villains. Okay, we could decide the theme of our Star Wars channel and what our value proposition is and what part of the fandom we're trying to address. Are we doing all Star Wars fans? Are we doing subsections of the factions of the Star Wars fandom? Are we doing that? What's the deal? Then we have our content buckets, or you can call them content pillars. So, okay, what does that look like? News about Star Wars. So in Star Wars news, we could have Star Wars what ifs and fan theories. We could have lore videos. And then, we could have another pillar. We could say, okay, and I want a pillar that is something really unique. So maybe it's my fan film, or maybe it's me rewriting the sequel trilogy, even though that would technically be a what if. It's a bigger theme. It's its own show. It's its own brand to a degree. So boom, we have that. And so then we'd have like 5 or 6 content pillars. Okay, great. We have these. These are going to be the featured playlist on our homepage. What do we do now? We have to generate ideas for these individual content pillars. So if we have 5 or 6 content pillars, we have to be able in our mind every year, in my opinion, your YouTube channel, in my opinion, is going to usually be that you make 50 videos a year or you make 100 videos a year. What that looks like is you're making 1 video a week or you're making 2 videos a week. Some people will go hard and will go 3. That's fine. I used to be daily. That's how I got to 100,000 subscribers in 3 years. We'll talk about that in another video. 800 videos in 3 years. That's how I did. I went daily. I went hard. I don't recommend it. It's not that it doesn't work. It's that it's really draining and hard to do. And then I did that for another 2 or 3 years, grew by 100,000 a year, every year doing that, proving it's not a fluke. It gets tiresome. You can burn out doing it. I don't recommend. What's reasonable is 50, 100, or 150 videos a year. That's reasonable to do. So That means 1, 2, or 3 videos a week. Those are your options, basically, if you're being reasonable. If we come up with 5 content pillars, then we have to be able to at least every year come up with a combination of an average of 20 video titles around each of our pillars. So in this Star Wars analogy, we know, okay, maybe I have more than 20 pieces of news that'll come out. So maybe that ends up being extra. Okay, cool. Maybe that gets me to 150 videos a year, but it's like, oh, what fan theories am I going to do? Am I going to do 20 individual fan theories, or am I going to do mini series? Mini series could be a really good strategy for keeping people invested in the channel. Watch part 1, watch part 2, watch part 3, 4, 5, and then I could make these really nice, deep, cohesive stories. So for fan theories, that could be excellent. That would be easy to come up with maybe 20 titles. Maybe it's 40 of those instead of 20, because then it balances out doing less of other content that might be more challenging. So, okay, great. Then maybe I do these lore videos. And so maybe doing 20 of those is easy because I could do a bunch of Jedi, a bunch of Sith, backstories, all the things. Okay, fair enough. Maybe I could do some versus videos. Who would win a fight? This character versus this character. Maybe those are bigger productions. Maybe there's more effort in that. So maybe I only do 10 of those in the year. So I start to think this through and fill out my 100 video schedule for the year. This is what content strategy is thinking in these terms. The reason I like the idea of we do 50 or we do 100 is it makes the planning stages easy. It gives us 2 weeks off in the year to just, go on vacation or whatever, not worry about it. Unless we want to batch record in advance. This gives us a good outline. This lets us batch record, lets us make videos in advance, lets us think about these things. So again, very powerful to build a proper content strategy. This is something I work with people in Awesome Creator Academy to do and to think about. So we have all of that. Then there's the style of video and the production and editing. Some of these things might be more intense. For styles, I look at easy, medium, and hard. Meaning, is this something easy to make? Is this something that's kind of moderately challenging to make? Or is this really hard to make? You could think of it like a video game. Easy mode, normal mode, hard mode. Easy mode, normal mode, hard mode. So if something's easy, you can probably make this video with half a day of effort and get one video out. Maybe you could even get 2 videos out in a day if you do easy mode videos. If you do normal mode videos, it's going to probably take you like a week to do this video. If you do maybe 3 days to a week to do this video. If you do hard mode videos, it's going to take 1 to 2 weeks to do it. It's going to take many, many, many more hours. So think about it like this. Easy mode is a video that takes less than 4 hours to get out. Normal mode is a video that takes 8 to 12 hours to get out. Hard mode will be a video that takes 20 hours or more to get out. Now, that's for most YouTubers. If you are, as far as a solo content creator, if you're going beyond being a solo content creator, this starts to get multipliers of difficulty. It becomes multipliers of difficulty there. So would just kind of think of that differently. What does the multipliers of difficulty look like? 10 hours versus 40 hours versus 100 hours. That's what it looks like. So again, easy mode, normal mode, hard mode. Nightmare mode is when you get into hundreds of hours. And that should usually be a team behind that. So just keep that in mind. We have a question. I want to start a movie recap channel, but I don't want to be like the leaders of that niche. What tips would you give me that help me stand out in that specific niche? Better branding, better motion graphics, and better storytelling would be different. But also, if visually in the recaps you're branding it so that it actually very much looks like a clip show from back in the old days of television, there's ways to approach that. So that'd be my approach to it. Yep. So we talk about these styles and their levels of difficulty. Let's talk about video formats. You have video on demand, which is your regular edited YouTube videos. Then you have shorts. Then you have live streams. You could conflate some of that with podcasting, by the way. And my version of doing podcasting is also a live video. So there is that aspect to it. So that's definitely something you should think about. Let's see here. So I'm just adding this video here that we're live with to another playlist. So video on demand is your regular old school YouTube videos. Shorts are obviously vertical videos under 60 seconds, and those have viral capacity, and they have live streams. Now, what you need to understand is that live streams will usually get about a tenth of what your videos normally get in terms under normal circumstances. Your live streams will get a tenth of the reach of your VODs or less. And under normal circumstances, your shorts will get 10 times the views of your VODs or more. But it also could flop and do very less. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. Sound production has been an issue with me. How and where do I find good background music? Epidemic Sound, my friend. Epidemic Sound is amazing. I'll link to it in the description. I will send you guys a quick link for that. Give me 1 second. robertoblake.com/go/epidemic sound. Should be the link. All right, so I'm dropping that here for you. We'll add in the description for you to get Epidemic Sound. Get Epidemic Sound. Start with a free trial of them. See if you like it. Boom. Get Epidemic Sound. There you go. They've been good to us here at the channel. They've worked out for me. One of the other things I'll tell you about sound design, when we do a video editing session, we'll go over video editing, motion graphics, sound design, animated titles, kinetic typography, color correction, special effects. We'll go over all of that in a deep dive video editing session. That's why you want to subscribe to the channel. You want to share it with your friends. We are the only YouTube education channel that is going to be doing multiple full lecture style videos each week, basically giving you YouTube University. But we also want you to join us and spend time with us in office hours twice a week at awesomecreatoracademy.com, where we have our small group sessions and we can talk face to face as a group, and we can do critique. You can get advice on content strategy, your brand deals, your negotiations for that, setting up your online business, building out your digital products, building out your merchandise. We have referrals and things for designers for you, video editors. We have a lot of assets. You also get access to all of our digital download products if you become a pro group member of Awesome Creator Academy. Link is in the description down below. Join the pro group and we can help you directly. We meet every Tuesday and Thursday for that at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time currently. So make sure you join us for the pro group. But what I will tell you is you want to subscribe for these free trainings every week. You're going to get a lot of value out of them, and you want to come back and watch the replay with the timestamps. Eventually, we're also, when we do these lectures, we're going to be having assignment sheets, and we're going to be having homework assignments as well. So we're going to basically turn this into a class. We're going to basically take, to some degree, a community college approach to things with the way that I'm doing it. How is Envato Elements? I use Envato Elements. I use Adobe Stock. I use Envato Elements. I use Placeit.net, and I use FreePick, and also I think it's Unsplash. So I use most of the stock sites. I also use Storyblocks as well. So I use all of those things. In terms of those extra assets, I wish I'd actually remembered to add those to this slide. I'll probably update that for the future. I'll update this slide deck for the future and add all of those extra services. So yeah. Let's see. So we're talking about video formats. So, okay, so we're talking about shorts, short strategy. So like I said, for regular VODs, I believe in uploading regular VODs either once a week, twice a week, or 3 times a week for optimal growth. And it just depends on how much free time you have. We've talked about being a working class content creator. And so it depends on what free time you have when it comes to these VODs. So take that with a grain of salt as to whether you're going to do once a week, twice a week, or 3 times a week. That becomes very important. Yeah, I've used the EOS 50 mirrorless camera. I don't like it compared to the Sony ZV-E10. The cropping is too intense, even the Mark II. So I prefer the Sony. The Sony is just better overall camera. No offense to Canon. Let's see. What else were we on? So then shorts, vertical videos. You can film those with a regular camera and just go vertical, or you can crop in the edit, or you can use your phone. Now, in terms of editing for those shorts, again, I recommend Adobe Rush or CapCut for editing your shorts, to be honest with you. Adobe Rush or CapCut is going to be solid. It's going to be what you want. Or you can do it in Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve if you have those, Final Cut Pro, etc. if you want to be a little bit extra. But these are very good. So what about the Sony A7 III? A7 IV is superior overall, superior in every way. So the thing with shorts is, like I said, they will get, if they don't flop, they will get 10 times as many views as your VODs if it's for the same audience, if there's a shorts audience for that content. Shorts appear in the shorts feed. They're very different. Now, here's what you need to know. Shorts make like no money on YouTube, and they are harder to grow subscribers off of compared to VODs or even live streams by far. But shorts often get new creators such outpaced views for new content creators that are small, that have no audience. Shorts are a good way to jumpstart you, get the subscribers to qualify for monetization. Then you need to do VODs and live streams to get the watch time, because shorts don't count to watch time. So shorts can get you off the ground, get you some viewers, give you some confidence, give you some experience. There's lower stakes, lower production values are accepted, and you can jump off a little bit with shorts if you want to. I don't really use them that much. I don't necessarily recommend them as much, but VODs are video on demand. They're the recorded, edited, regular, widescreen YouTube videos that weren't live streams first. So they're just videos. We call them video on demand, VODs. So that's your long form pre-recorded uploaded content. Thank you, Chantel. So that's what that is. So it's regular old school YouTube videos, or what we call VODs. Whatever the baseline of your VODs is, shorts, if they don't flop, will get 10x, 100x, or 1000x, whatever a VOD is. A live stream that doesn't flop will get usually a tenth of what a regular VOD is. That's the deal. Do not judge your regular VODs off of, oh, well, I'm getting so many views from shorts. Shorts make no money. Shorts make 1/100th of the money that VODs do. That's how different it is. It's not a tenth of the money. It's 1/100th of the money. So instead of making $1 per 1,000 views, you make a penny per 1,000 views. That's the difference. If you were getting $1 per 1,000 views and then you do shorts, you'll get a penny for 1,000 views. I am not joking. That's the difference. Now, live streams can make you much more per 1,000 views. As you saw, we've got a couple of super chat donations. I think that with the viewership we currently have, we've already made $30, $40 through just super chats, just asking questions. If we were a more engaging or a gaming audience, or we were gamifying this and everything like that, we'd be getting more super chats coming in for support. But we appreciate the super chats we get, so that's perfectly fine. But the ad revenue on live streams, because with live streams, you get to put multiple ads throughout the live stream. And in fact, you can even play ads during the live stream itself, because you can do that. Well, then it's radically different. And because of that, I believe I can show you. Let's see. Like, you can literally like play ads during the live stream, and therefore you can like make more money from it as a result of that. So do keep that in mind. And then you also have a box you can check that says automatically place mid-roll ads during your stream. So there is that part of it. And therefore it makes those videos much, much more monetizable. So then there's a greater potential for profit on live streams. It's not even close in terms of which format is more profitable. The live streams are more profitable. The VODs are the second most profitable. The shorts are the least profitable. So you can make 5 times as much money on a live stream than a regular edited YouTube video often, and then you'll make 100th less on a short, and then your VODs are your baseline. So we have a question from Las Vegas Raiders, Pharaoh NFL. How do you feel about YouTube automation? Does it make sense to outsource most of your content responsibilities? Love your channel, by the way. Keep up the good work. Bought your book too. Appreciate that. So with YouTube automation, maybe we'll cover that in a podcast or something, but maybe I'll bring on someone who can talk about it more. With YouTube automation, I will not sit here and pretend that I know everything in the world about YouTube automation. I've looked into it, I've studied it, I've researched it, but I've not fully executed on it. What I feel is this. I feel that YouTube videos that you actually make yourself are wildly unique. And I think the personality behind the channel is the thing that really makes a YouTube video and a YouTube creator stand out. And there are automation channels that get to 100,000 subscribers. I'm not sure how many of them get to 1 million subscribers. And that's not the real mark of success, by the way. But I just feel like it's not as, I feel that YouTube automation could be or feel just a little bit soulless. But that doesn't mean it's not entertaining or worthwhile content. I just don't feel like it is what the heart of YouTube is. And so I'm not the biggest fan of it. But from a money making and from a monetization standpoint, I don't see the issue with it if the content is valuable enough. And there are other ways that people do this outsourcing besides YouTube automation. Some people just hire actors to read their scripts and they are not the face of the channel. And that's fine. That's what regular TV is and TV media. Those people on TV, they don't write their own scripts. They don't write their own lines. They don't come up with their own story. They're just performers. So if you look at it in that way, I don't have some great moral high horse to jump on when it comes to YouTube automation, as long as you're doing it the right way, as long as the audience understands and is not being misled in any way, as long as people are being paid fairly. I don't have an issue as long as there's no scheme or scam behind it. As long as the people running the channel, the workers behind the channel are properly being taken care of. I don't know that they have to have a percentage or own it or have equity. That's a weird thing. And the thing is, I actually, as much as people go, yeah, give them equity and everything, it's like that only works if things are going well. If things are going well, equity sounds great. If things aren't going well, a salary sounds great. So you pick your poison. If you get equity, you take the risk. You go down with the ship. You die with the ship. I don't know that that's like the best thing for most employees, to be honest, as much as people are like, oh, but these guys, if they do it, but that's if it's successful. Majority of things are not successful. So do you want to go down with the ship when you're having a bad month, not be able to pay your bills, or do you want to just get a salary and be consistent? So you gotta pick and choose. Most people, the smartest thing they can do, honestly, is just take a flat fee, take a salary, so they have stability and they can pay their bills and they know what they're looking forward to and they can budget around it. Equity sounds great, but it's a privileged position to be able to take equity and say, I do well if the business does well. You have to be in a privileged position because if it goes sideways, it hurts. So that's why I don't necessarily think equity is always great for employees in a YouTube or creative venture, because I think that it lacks the stability. It's a lot of risk. And if you are just working class, that risk ain't worth it for most of you. You can't control it. You can't predict it. It's rough. Letting the business owner take that risk is probably par for the course. So if you're automation where you outsource, you're taking care of people, you're paying them reasonably well, what they ask for, whether it's US or overseas, whatever it is, as long as you're doing what's right for that community where they live and they can, do decently there, and it's within your budget, as long as the audience understands and is aware of the things they need to be, conflicts of interest, whatever it is, I'm good with it, as long as it's not a scam. Long-winded answer, I know. LeBaron says, and you can sell yourself and brand on those live streams. Yes, you can. You can absolutely do that. And merch does very well on live streams, believe it or TikTok creator program will make you more than Shorts will. Yes, but it's misleading because TikTok brands their creator program versus Shorts when Shorts and the creator program videos are not the same because it's under 1 minute versus over 1 minute. So that means the TikTok creator program has to be compared to regular YouTube videos. Because by the way, you can make vertical videos on YouTube that are over a minute long. Guess what? They won't go viral, but you will make more money than if they went viral, even on TikTok with the creator program. So TikTok's marketing and branding on that is misleading. TikTok is misleading you. It's deceptive marketing. And guess what? You know why I know? Because I'm a marketer. Because I'm a marketer. That's why I know TikTok is deceiving you. You've been deceived. So yeah, you've been deceived by the dark side of TikTok and their marketing apparatus, now fully armed and operational to exploit creators. So yes. So saith the emperor. What is the shortest length of time you recommend for live streams? I do not have a shortest recommended length of time for live streams. Live streams are as long as they need to be or as short as they can be. It's whatever works for you and your audience. It's too specific. Yes, Chantel, you can link your products when setting up your live stream, and it can help you sell your merch in the merch shop. Absolutely. So yes, so we've got that going on. What's the trade-off for gaining subs for Shorts versus the hours through regular VODs? Should we focus on VODs as a tech review channel? If you're a tech review channel, since you can't link to affiliate on Shorts, I would absolutely focus on VODs and possibly live streams and do some kind of tech podcast on the tech channel, so that you can get the watch time, and I would get monetized off of that. But I'd be using affiliate links from day one. We'll talk about that in the 6 Paths to Profit. And yes, that is a Naruto reference of the 6 Paths of Pain. So nerd over here. But yeah. And then with upload frequency, we already covered this. For VODs, I think 1, 2, or 3 times a week. If you're doing shorts, I would recommend daily if you can do shorts. If you're going to do shorts, I recommend doing daily shorts and doing those 1, 2, or 3 times a day. VODs are 1, 2, or 3 times a week. Shorts are 1, 2, or 3 times a day, believe it or not, is what I would recommend. And they're counted separately. So that's something I would look at. I would use your community tab every single day, once a day. Absolutely use your community tab. I should have put that in here for a format as well. And then for live streams, I would recommend 1 to 2 times a week to connect and build a community with your audience for live streams, believe it or not. So that's what a balanced, holistic content strategy could look like, accounting for all formats. That sounds like a lot of work. The live streams is a once or twice a week thing, so that can be manageable because it's up. Just go live, set up, go for it, go live, whatever. Put together a presentation like mine. If you're going to go that route, whatever, or play your video game, whatever you're doing. So go live. Shorts, I'm not doing shorts on this channel myself. I have another channel I want to do that on, but the if I was going to prioritize shorts, I try to do it daily, 1, 2, or 3 times a day. VODs 1, 2, or 3 times a week, and then live streaming 1 to 2 times a week. Some people just try to do a big live event once a month. I like the idea of connecting with your community. So you could even look at that as, oh, I'll do live streams 1 to 2 times a month. I'd be fine with that. That's fine. The other thing is I would do the community tab daily for sure, once a day. Absolutely. And so that would be my approach when it comes to formats, publishing frequency. We already talked about style, the content buckets or content pillars, whichever you prefer. 6 Paths of Profit for online videos, the 6 Paths of Profit. So this one works out really good. You could add a 7th one here called services, but y'all ain't gonna do that, so don't worry about it. But this is how you earn money. Platform revenue. So platform revenue is ads, creator funds, bounties, that sort of thing, directly on platform. Then you have donations, which a lot of us call fan funding. That's your super chats, your super stickers, your super thanks, your Twitch bits, etc. So your Rumble rants, that's what that looks like. Then you have channel memberships. This can be the online platform itself. So YouTube channel memberships, Twitch subs, paid subs. You could also do sites like Patreon, or you could do your own membership site like I do for awesomecreatoracademy.com. You could have your own membership site like I do for the pro group. and you self-host that. The difference is, yes, I pay monthly to have Kajabi, but I keep all the revenue. If you use YouTube, it's a 70-30 split. Twitch is a 50-50 split. Some other places do 90-10 or something like that. Patreon is like an 8 to 12% split. So the thing I like about Kajabi is, yes, I pay for it, but I keep all of my money from my membership site. So for me, absolutely worth it to pay. For some of you, your mileage may vary. Then you have affiliate income. You have the Amazon affiliate program. Then you have software as a service income programs. You have Target, Best Buy, Walmart, all do affiliate programs. So you can sell physical, digital products, software, all types of things as an affiliate. Back in the old days when I started YouTube, I was doing a lot of camera and product reviews. A lot of you know that. I was doing tech stuff, and I was making about $1,500 a month. I lived in North Carolina. You could pay rent and utilities on $1,500 a month in North Carolina. Swear to God, it was cheap. So Amazon affiliate program was really good to me when I was taking it seriously. The electronics category is probably one of the better categories in Amazon. However, you get really good commissions and bounties when you sell Amazon's own products. If I recommend books to you guys, if I had my audiobook ready, which is not ready yet, hopefully next month by the end of the month, if I had the audiobook, I'd make so much money off Amazon bounties. Not only do I get usually a $5 bounty for Audible, but if I had my book and my book was the one that I recommend and it signs you up and you get that free for an Audible membership, I'd get an even bigger bounty. I'd get like $50 bounty for that. If you get people to sign up for Amazon Prime, or they do the paid version of Audible, $10 bounty. So there's all these things that you can do. And so think about it. If you get 10 people off of one video to sign up for the paid version of Audible, you made $100 on a video that you might have only gotten as a booktuber 2,000 views on. You make $100 and not worry about the ad revenue. You get ad revenue on top of that. But electronics pay probably the best. If you guys bought a professional camera lens, I'd make like anywhere from $70 to $120 on a professional camera lens. Camera bodies vary, things like that. So I could do very good with that. If I got 10, 20 people to buy professional grade camera gear, not entry level camera gear, then I make like $1,000. If 20 of you bought an entry-level camera, $25 commissions on that, I make $500. So again, very small conversion rate off of your large enough audience, a couple thousand views. Some of them turn into conversions. You convert 1% of them. You're making real money. And that's just with Amazon. If you go software as a service like me, I make about $3-4 grand a month off of TubeBuddy right now. Used to be a lot more before the pandemic. Create a recession. So you have that. Affiliate programs and selling your own stuff also is really good for helping you land sponsor content. Hey, if I can sell my own stuff, I can sell yours, right? So sponsored content, you could be a UGC creator. We can talk about that more whenever we cover more brand deal stuff. You could create stuff. If your audience isn't big enough, become a UGC creator as a small creator. Go, and if you have high-end cinematography, high-end photography, high quality, high production value as a small creator, if you have high production values, you can be a UGC content creator, which is user-generated content. And you can make stuff on the brand's websites, social media profiles, make stuff for them to use in advertising. You're cheaper than an agency, but still worth paying you very good money. And you'll make more money than you would off your small following, making high quality content, high effort content for their large audience. I have a friend who, unfortunately, she can't clear like 2,000 views on her own channel per video that uploads, but her videos, when uploaded to a brand she works for, because of her high quality cinematic production for her cooking videos, they go viral for her clients. So she gets a 6-figure salary as a UGC creator versus her YouTube channel. It's hard for her to break 2,000 views per video on her YouTube channel, but her videos go viral for the brand that she works with. And so they pay her a 6-figure salary. So plenty of opportunities, even if you don't have the numbers, you don't have the reach. How do I get it? I don't have the reach. I don't have the subscribers. I don't have the following. That's your answer. That's why quality, production value, camera gear, lighting, we say so much that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to start. But again, you will get paid more working for a brand if you have this than if you have this. And there's a reason. So UGC is the way to make money by having clients in terms of working for brands. Digital product sales, courses, merchandise, and books. Obviously, This is my preferred model, is own everything yourself, sell everything yourself, keep all the revenue. So I have my book, I have Awesome Creator Academy. We don't have courses yet. We have digital download products. This does very well. There's merchandise, obviously. Selling your own products means you keep all the profit and that you own the relationship with the customer. You have the email list, you have the customer list. This one is the one that I feel is like the best for creators to have ownership. It's not the easiest thing to start with, but I would start making a plan to say, how am I going to sell something? I would start making that plan early enough in my creator career, because I'd be thinking intentionally that I want to do this full time. Now, if you don't care about doing this full time, then don't even worry about it. Just get the AdSense or whatever, get a sponsor, get some donations, have fun. But if you want to do this full time as a career, having your own products is the answer. Even the big creators, they go a different way. Look at what Logan Paul, KSI are doing with Prime. Look at what Beast is doing with Feastables. Emma Chamberlain with her coffee company and beverage brand. Nelk with Happy Dad. Building a brand and having a product that you sell directly is very important. When to have separate channels, tech product reviews versus tech tutorials may compete. If it's tutorials for the same product that you're reviewing, then you probably are fine. It's a different channel when it's a different audience. It's a different channel when it's a different promise to the audience. Do tech tutorials do well on YouTube? What kind of videos do better for long format? Tech tutorials do very well. They did very well for me. They did extremely well for me. In terms of live stream, would it be fine to use Restream for both YouTube and Twitch, or use OBS to stream to both? Yeah, as long as you look at Twitch's terms and conditions, because Twitch is being really funky about that. But YouTube has vertical video streaming now, and so they'll let you do mobile streaming to multiple platforms on Twitch. So if that's the case, then I do the vertical version for YouTube and then do the horizontal for Twitch based on Twitch's new terms of service on exclusivity. What do you think about pre-monetized with organic? Nope, I don't. Nope, never buy pre-monetized or any of that nonsense. Never buy views. If you're a filmmaker with different types of films, what would you suggest the filmmaker do? I would actually suggest that if you're a filmmaker, that you make cinematic vlogs and then you hype up an audience for your big premiere films, even though they're individual different ideas, because then it's an audience that cares about you and cares about your creativity. So I would make cinematic vlogs and then I'd premiere my films on my channel. That way I have a connection with the audience. They love me. They want to support me. They want to big me up. They want my films to go viral. So, yeah. Yeah, buying subs or views is a fast track to having your channel deleted by YouTube. Yes, it is, Chantel. In fact, Chantel, I'm actually going to do basically a 7 deadly sins of YouTube. I'm going to do a video on 7 things that will get your channel deleted by YouTube. And then I'm going to do a video on 7 things that will get your channel demonetized by YouTube. So I have 2 videos like that coming out pretty soon, right in time for the spooky season, the 7 deadly sins of YouTube. Yay. So I'll have 2 videos basically with that theme. 7 things that get your channel deleted, 7 things that get your channel demonetized. Yeah, D for Darius is great. He's a great one to learn cinematography and filmmaking from. He is a great example of movie making channel that also puts his movies on his channel. Yep. Yes, there's a couple of awesome videos on the way. Yep, indeed. Indeed. So monetization strategy. We talked about the 6 paths of profit, but what about a monetization mix where you're using at least 3 to 4 of the overall 6 paths of profit? Because again, starting out is intimidating to say, oh my God, I got to do all this stuff for Roberto and everything. No, starting out, you're not going to have sponsors, so don't worry about it. You're not going to have sponsors starting out. You're going to try and get monetized and get AdSense. You qualify for the live streaming donations and memberships first. So you could start with those 3 big ones for on platform right here on YouTube. You're going to get channel memberships at 500. If you get the watch time, you're going to get donations at 500. If you get the watch time, then you get to 1,000 subscribers and you get the ad revenue. So that's 3. of your 6 right there. You're halfway there. Day 1, you can sign up to the Amazon affiliate program. That's 4. So that's easy enough to start. It might be intimidating to make a product, but you can try to do that. And that'd probably be the next thing that you tackle. And then the last one, because it's built on audience growth, is tackling sponsors, unless you have high-end productions and you're going to go the UGC creator route. So that would be how you build up these monetization streams. Then when you build them up, you go, well, I'm going to sign up to one affiliate program. Well, what about another affiliate program? And what about another one? Oh, I made one great product. What about 2 great products? What about 3 great products? So, that's something to definitely think about. Speaking of great products, one of our great products that you can get, and we have a discount for you, is the Brand Deals Starter Kit. And that's at awesomecreatoracademy.com. And you can use this discount code I'm going to give you real quick here to get 40% off of that until the end of September. This is only until the end of September. So if you're watching the replay and you don't get to use this code, it's your loss for not showing up early. But use the code linked here. I'm putting this in the chat. It's linked in the description. If you want the Brand Deal Starter Kit, this is one of our products at awesomecreatoracademy.com. And if you, I screwed up the thing there because I tried to paste the code and the link and it's not working that way. So sorry, chat. I'll just do that again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste the link first, then I'll paste the discount code, and you should be able to do that. So sorry about that, chat. Here you go. So that's a little messy, but hey, it is what it is. So you can check that out, awesomecreatoracademy.com. And you can get the YouTube starter kit. You can get the Brand Deal starter kit. I think the link we just gave you was for the YouTube starter kit with templates. But the thing is, the Brand Deal starter kit uses the same discount code. So we'll just drop that that link as well, because you get the discount code on either or both of those. You can use it on either one. You can either get YouTube starter kit or your Brand Deal starter kit. So what do you have in the Brand Deal starter kit? We have a master list of 100 sponsors that work with content creators. We're going to be updating that as well, but it's over 100 of them. 10 email swipe files. I think we updated that. I think it's 12 email swipe files to reach out to brands. So you actually have the emails written for you that you just edit the emails to reach out to brands. We have 3 customizable media kits. We've got some information on pricing for you, even though I don't believe in hard and fast rules on pricing. I believe in negotiations. Brand deal safety guidelines to make you brand safe and friendly so that they don't lowball you on your reputation. The disclosure guidelines so you're in compliance with the government and the FTC. A list of brand deal managers and talent agencies, sponsored content checklist, and much more. So all kinds of great stuff for you in the Brand Deals starter kit. We also have, as I said, the YouTube starter kit, which is, hang on one second. We have the YouTube starter kit with over 100. I'm just going to switch to that tab here. So we have the YouTube starter kit. We have 100 Photoshop templates. We have the YouTube title formulas where we write the titles for you and you fill in the blanks. We're going to also add some ChatGPT generation codes for that. We have 100 video ideas to jumpstart your channel. We have the 100 best free fonts to use for your graphics on YouTube with direct downloads to them. So we have the download links for you. The video gear guide, the monetization guide, the software guide, the channel launch checklist, and the channel trailer checklist. So again, we've got all kinds of good stuff, and we do upgrade this, and we update this like at least once or twice a year, because we update everything for our pro group members, because our pro group members get access to all of our products at awesomecreatoracademy.com, as well as our 2 office hour sessions we do privately every week. So just making you aware that those products exist. I practice what I preach. I'm telling you guys my monetization strategy, and I'm showing you my monetization strategy in real life. This is why My Awesome Creator Academy is a 6-figure business outside of my YouTube channel. And we're not going to rely on YouTube only for the traffic. We buy ads. We're going to buy more ads. And we're actually going to make ad-free videos on Awesome Creator Academy so you can watch and learn things without going through ads. And all we're doing is we are going to market our products because we think they're the best in the world. But you won't have to watch ads. So there you go. Let's see. Roberto, one-on-one training wanted. Spoke with you at the end of your discussion at LA Vid Summit last time, but I've been watching you since 2017. Very impressed. Thank you, Best Brands Perfume. If you want to work with me one-on-one, go to awesomecreatoracademy.com. I have a link for personal one-on-one coaching over at awesomecreatoracademy.com as well. If you want to be part of our pro group and meet with us twice a week, privately, we also have that option. I'm linking in the chat here. And that's also in the description. So would love to work with you one-on-one. That'd be great. Jeremy Hill asks, if you have a real world business that you want to supplement using YouTube as a channel and it becomes monetized, what do you recommend to make sure revenue from the channel is handled correctly? This is a great question. So one, I would set it up under the name of the business and make sure the AdSense account is set up under the name of the business. I'd make sure that's tied to your LLC, or build a parent company and tie that together, and then have your regular business and then an LLC that's your media company, and then it's all owned by your parent company. Talk to a proper accountant, CPA, and attorney about all of that stuff and about your structure there. So you can have the parent company, your actual business, then your media company. YouTube channel is owned by the media company is owned by the parent company. Both businesses sit under the parent company. That's the structure that you might want to look at. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at with it. Obviously, you need tax IEN numbers for both of those. LLCs, you need a tax IEN number for the S corporation that sits as the parent company, so on and so forth, right? So you'll want to do that. The parent company should be the one that's the S corp declaration, most likely. Again, talk to a certified public accountant, talk to a tax professional. They'll handle all that. So in theory, you'll want the AdSense probably to either be under the media company or under the parent company. It'll be one of those in terms of who owns the AdSense account. You'll want that money to go direct deposit to the business account that sits under that with the proper tax IEN number so that you can get your 1099 from YouTube for your taxes. Reference my video on YouTube taxes for more info. It's an oldie but goodie. And by oldie, I mean it's literally only like 2 years old, so not really outdated. This stuff doesn't change much. So that's something that you would definitely want to think about there. I would say for any accounts that are like, let's say, affiliate or things under that YouTube channel, you probably want one of the LLCs to be the thing that owns those affiliate accounts for similar reasons. You also want to separate personal from professional liability by having this structure. So, yeah, if you have a real world business, having the YouTube channel separate from that real world business under its own entity gives you another layer of protection for the business. And you might want to still use, maybe you can use the media insurance policy that's under your parent company. Maybe get a separate policy just for this LLC, depending on that structure there. But again, you might want to talk to your accountant about that specifically, especially with regard to the point of wanting the insurance protections. That's the main reason to have these separate structure, is the liability just in case you get sued for anything. Or unless an employee has like an accident, you want to be covered under that as well. The coupon is not for the one-on-one coaching. The coupon is for our products. What I try to do is I don't really discount my time. I will discount products, but not usually my time. When you're ready, reach out to me in DMs or something about the $699 price, because my one-on-one coaching price is probably going to go up after Vid Summit this October. So after this October Vid Summit, my personal time is going to go up in value. I'm going to be finishing the second book, so my time is going to be split more. I'm going to be finishing the second book. I'm going to be working on some other things as well. And I'm going to be doing some training, try to hire and train a video editor. So I'm going to have less time. So if I have less time, my time goes up. So we're going to be doing that. If you're a monetized YouTube channel and it's your primary source of income, I would form an LLC, which we will be doing a deep dive on the business of YouTube. I would form an LLC. I'm actually building a course around um, being a full-time content creator. And the big part of the course around being a full-time content creator is actually things like setting up your business structure in LLC, setting up your HR and payroll dashboard in Gusto, like I did. So it's filing and setting up your LLC and getting that in place, filing your trademarks, uh, putting those things in place, uh setting up your business website and your email accounts, putting that in place. Like the business part of YouTube is very specific, or being a content creator in general, YouTuber, podcast, live streamer. And the thing is, most people, it's a footnote in their $500 course. I want to dedicate an entire $500 course to the business of being a content creator, which means setting up and incorporating the business and having that. There are a couple of professionals I'm going to bring on involving this and everything, including most likely a CPA and a lawyer for an interview that will be in the course. So I'll have an interview with a CPA, an interview with a lawyer, and those will be involved in the course. Since you're hearing things from professionals, and I'll grill them on every question possible. And so when I build this like $500 course, it's literally so that you can set up the business properly and not make mistakes that cost thousands upon thousands of dollars. So it's incorporating the business, setting up the proper tax structure for the business, hiring CPAs and accountant services, which will most likely be an affiliate link on my side for that, setting up your HR and payroll portal so that you can pay your employees and your contractors and make sure that they get their 1099s and W-2s for their tax filings. If you have full-time employees, through that dashboard in Gusto, you're able to even offer healthcare benefits and set up a group pricing plan for healthcare as well. The idea and telling you, hey, this is how we deal with healthcare as content creators, as self-employed people. So it's really a course around self-employment and the setting up of an online business. And there is monetization stuff that I plan for that course. That'll be coming out next year, but it'll be the business side of YouTube. It will be things like monetization. It will be high-level income strategies, but a lot of it will be setting up the business, getting the proper insurance, both the liability insurance, the media insurance, so you don't get sued, knowing about healthcare as a content creator for yourself, hiring your employees and your team, and hiring contractors and freelancers, and even recommendations and referrals from people I'm going to vet, because I'm putting my money where my mouth is on this. One thing I'm doing is what people don't know is I'm hiring people for my projects or other projects as freelancers, so I can build a vetted freelancers list. So I can say, I've worked with these vendors, these service providers, these freelance folks, these video editors, these graphic designers, these music producers. And then I'll be able to say, I've worked with these people, I can vouch for their work. And so we'll have a vetted list of those people. That'll be a resource for the people who go through either the pro group or through some of these courses. They'll have access to that resource list for those referrals on people they can hire as contractors. There'll be training in this on how to vet and hire your team, we'll probably make a template for a standard employee handbook and the non-disclosure agreement, so that your team doesn't go out, work for another YouTuber and give that other YouTuber all your secrets. Yes, that happens. That's why you need an employment agreement. You need an agreement for your contractors. Everyone who works with you needs a non-disclosure agreement, so they're not out there selling your secrets to your competitors or any nonsense like that. This is very, very important, and it's massively overlooked by content creators, that you have to keep your team accountable and you have to have NDAs in place. This isn't so you can be a scumbag. This is literally so they don't go sell your secrets to a competitor if things don't work out. This is also because some bigger YouTubers big YouTubers sometimes will see a talented person that's working for a small YouTuber, offer them 50% more salary, 200% more salary, and will steal them away from that small YouTuber. And then that person doesn't have any loyalty and they sell all your secrets. I'm not even joking. People with unlimited godly amounts of money will steal the team from right under a small YouTuber. I swear to you. So you have to protect yourself. This is why this becomes very important. That's why I think it's worth putting into like a $500 course, how to set up these things, because it's things people never tell you about. It's in no YouTube help content. No one will watch these videos if you like, no one will watch this stuff. It's hard enough to get them to watch regular YouTube help content, let alone all the boring business and legal implications. There's whole things you need to know about how to vet brand deal contracts. I'm building a brand deals course as well, but like there'll be a section even in this thing around that. There's all kinds of red flags that you need to avoid when working with brands and companies. You need to have a way to disassociate with them if their reputation gets damaged or they get called out. You need a way to be able to deal with that. So there's a lot in the business side of YouTube, and it's more than making money. It's keeping it and protecting it from tax liability, protecting yourself from being sued, protecting yourself from damage reputationally or for your intellectual property with regard to employees. It's the trademarking stuff. It's the incorporation and the LLC stuff so that you're in compliance with the IRS. It's everything you need to know in terms of the disclosure guidelines from the government of what you can and cannot do as an influencer and why you have to disclose all of your brand deals and so on and so forth, and transparency. It's about understanding ethics statements. There's so much that seems so boring, but it's not boring when it becomes your headache and you have to deal with it. And it's a lot. It's so much. And that's why I think that's a good course. It's going to be harder to market it than you might think as a $500 course. But as a $500 course, it saves you headaches. It saves you losing thousands of dollars. That's why I think it's important, because hiring the wrong employees is very expensive to hire the wrong employees. Getting taxes wrong, very expensive. Not having NDAs becomes very expensive. Not being able to hold brands accountable and have them pay you, and what to do when a brand doesn't pay you, that becomes a very expensive problem to have. So yeah, that's going to be the plan. Why doesn't Brian G. Johnson post anymore? Is he burnt out? You'd have to ask Brian G. Johnson. I talked to him. I know him. He's a good friend, but you'd have to ask him. I'm not going to speak for him. I would recommend that you look at my content around getting monetized specifically. Your thing is Bible studies. I think that you should consider some potential live streams. There might be people who want remote fellowship, and that could get you the watch hours, and so could the replays of that. So I'd recommend Bible study live streams and fellowship, and scheduling them in advance, and then maybe promoting them in other places in social media. And then that could easily probably get you the watch time, honestly. All right. If you're a small content creator, here's the thing. I've been meaning to answer this question. If you're a small content creator, and we can just do this real quick. So if you're a small content creator, the answer is you don't start multiple channels because you're passionate or whatever, and you don't try to throw everything at one channel because you're passionate. If you're a small content creator who works a full-time job, you do one channel, you get that channel monetized, you get that channel to 10,000 subscribers, and you don't think about doing a second channel until it's monetized and it's at 10,000 subscribers. Frankly, as far as I'm concerned, you shouldn't start a new channel until you're a full-time content creator, because I don't think you should have these multiple hobbies. I think one YouTube channel is troublesome enough. I think one YouTube channel is troublesome enough. So I don't recommend a small creator have multiple channels. I don't recommend that you do every YouTube thing you're passionate about. Pick one. It's one hobby, one audience, one voice. You don't throw everything in the kitchen sink at it. Don't try to be a variety creator. It works out for literally less than 1% of people. Pick one thing that you're not going to get bored with. Stick with it until it's full time. That is my real legit advice for you. I swear to you, it's going to sound, oh, and I'm killing your dreams, but it's like, you'll thank me when you are not exhausted. You'll thank me when you're not exhausted. One channel until it's monetized, because less than 6% of channels get monetized. Even with the new rules, it's about 6% or less. Not even 10% get to 10,000. Get your channel monetized. Get your channel to 10,000. Consider going and getting that channel full time before you even think about a second one. That's my real advice. I will make a video about this, but that's my advice. Can you get a business credit card for your YouTube channel? Not for the YouTube channel, but for the company that owns the YouTube channel. You don't get a business credit card for your YouTube channel. The business that owns your YouTube channel would have a credit card. And so that's why, again, I have to make that course. It's that the business, the LLC or S Corp that owns the YouTube channel as a piece of its overall property portfolio, intellectual property portfolio, is the company that will have the business credit card and the line of business credit. Exactly my point. Yes. The way I make $500 courses is I determine what will be a essentially um 2,500 to $5,000 nightmare if you get it wrong, and then I'm like, okay, that's what a $500 course looks like. That's why it's taken us so long to build these courses, because I had to say, here's the distinct vision I have for solving a problem, and here is the thing that says you can't necessarily afford not to have the answer to solving these problems and having a way to deal with it. So like that is my thought process, is that any one of these problems costs more than $500. That's why it's worth having a course. And the thing is, organizing, curating, oh, I can find that online. It's like, no, you can't in most cases. One, the reason this information gets paywalled is because it's very boring, very dry, and very specific. If you're wondering about free versus paid information on the internet, I will give you a secret. There are people who make content in such a way that it is designed to leverage the YouTube algorithm. The content you are going to click on and are going to watch are going to be people who have a lot of subs and a lot of views. Even with education content, is that designed to teach you and do lecture and instruction and walk you through things step by step until you understand them, or is that designed for the attention spans of the YouTube algorithm, which TikTok and Shorts have reduced the attention spans of most people under 25, who is who YouTubers cater to most of the time. Since it's reduced those people to having the attention span of a chicken sandwich, it's probably not set up for you to be learning things the best way that you possibly can. It's probably not a good idea to try to learn things as easily when there's a little window in the corner at the bottom of a Mr. Beast video. It'd be like, okay, what's going to be better? Studying in a pep rally or studying in the library? That's why it's sometimes just better to go into curated courses, membership groups, cohorts, workshops in real life. If you can go to an in real life workshop, if you can go to a in real life workshop where you can get hands on with lighting and camera gear, highly recommended. Eventually, I want to start something in Atlanta that's literally a YouTube and content creation workshop that's for YouTube, podcasting, and live streaming. That's really production software and hardware based, much less the strategies for growing, but like actually making high quality content. I want the workshops physically in real life where you learn the physical skills of making high effort, high quality, high value content. Because I don't think that exists in our ecosystem. That's the physical workshop I want to do here in Atlanta one day. And then I also want a conference here in Atlanta that's mostly like 80% monetizing, making money, setting up a business, and only 20% growth hacking. I want that 80-20 on that. We have enough places where you can learn growth strategy. We don't have enough places where you can learn how to make high quality content. We don't have enough places where you can learn to make money. So I want to solve for that. So again, I just go to, here's what I want to solve for. Here's a big enough problem. Here's where the scarcity in the market is. It's very much like a YouTube video strategy of like, let me solve for a specific thing for a specific audience, and let me go that route. Yep, agree. One step at a time. Absolutely. Tried multiple niches. Some worked for views, some didn't. Most of the unboxings do well, but I didn't want to do all unboxings. Any suggestions? So this would be about content pillars on a tech channel. And the thing is, if you're going to do unboxings, I would do massive unboxings, because then you can create spectacle and storytelling. Look at your average consumer. I would just do mass unboxings instead of unboxing a single product. Unboxing a lot of products attracts more viewers, believe it or not. So that's one strategy. The other thing is then you can also do product reviews. You can do setup videos. You can do tours if you have desktop tours, home office tours. You can respond to people's setups. There's all kinds of things you can do with that kind of channel. If your channel is doing well enough and it's monetized, maybe you can work with me. I absolutely can do a strategy around that. You got to remember, I actually did get videos around tech reviews and things of that nature, and I did very well with them. Even when I was a much smaller channel, I was getting 50 and 80,000 views on tech videos. So I actually know the strategy. I'm also friends with some of the biggest tech creators, and I've actually helped coach a lot of tech creators all the way to 100,000. In fact, our good friend Technically T, he's about to hit 100,000. He's done like 8 coaching calls with me. So it's something we can definitely talk about. If you're starting out on YouTube, is it necessary to also be creating Instagram Reels and other social media platforms like TikTok? You can, if you're making YouTube shorts, you might as well. If you're making shorts already, you might as well just republish to those using, repurpose.io or Opus Clip or whatever. You might as well at that point. So that is something to consider. If you're making YouTube shorts already, then you might as well. If you have limited time, resources, and you're not already making YouTube shorts, maybe it's not the best idea to spread yourself thin right away, but maybe you think about it. All right. So anyway, going back to the presentation here, because we're not actually quite finished. Well, we kind of are. You can connect with me. You can also screenshot this if you want to connect with me. And you got the QR code to go to Awesome Creator Academy. So actually, technically, we are done with the presentation. So I can go to more of the questions here. And then if we have any super chats, you can do that. I did already answer what would I suggest for a filmmaker who makes different types of stills. I actually covered that about 10 minutes ago. If you want to go back to that. Does the channel name matter? So for your channel name, what matters is that it's easy to spell, easy to say, and easy to recognize. Your channel name must be easy to spell, easy to say, and easy to recognize. If you can do those three things, then that's what your channel name should be. You also might want to see if the handle for that channel is available in other social media platforms so you can have brand consistency. Should you get a college degree or even a high school diploma to be a YouTuber? We answered this before. Stop trying to drop out of high school to be a YouTuber. It's a terrible idea, and I don't recommend it. And it never really works out for anybody. So what if it worked out for like 3 YouTubers ever? No one has any business dropping out of high school in America. If you drop out of high school in America, there's about an over 90% chance of you being in poverty and squalor. So nobody should be a moron and entertain the idea of dropping out of high school and not getting their diploma in the United States of America. As far as I'm concerned, it should be illegal. I think dropping out of high school in the United States of America should absolutely be illegal, and that would stop people from doing it. Yeah, that's a hot take. I said it. So no. Do you need a college degree? No. Only 30% of people in America go to college, and then only half of them even graduate. And then a lot of them are Nepo babies anyway. There's only a certain amount of them that are hardworking people who came from the working class and the middle class. A lot of them came from the upper 20% anyway. So the numbers marketing around college are skewed, and no college professor is probably going to be able to teach the creator economy as well as someone who actually got 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, got a channel monetized and did any of those things, made 1,000 videos. So you're not going to learn how to be a YouTuber in college if your goal is to be a YouTuber. That doesn't mean a college degree is useless. A college degree can be social proof. If you decide to do a dating podcast on YouTube, getting a degree in psychology and sociology might be very good credibility for having that. If you decided to do a philosophy channel on YouTube, having a background and a degree in history, philosophy, or psychology might be very good credibility in YouTube. If you got a PhD, being able to say, hey, I'm Dr. So-and-so and brand yourself as that. Dr. Chris Rayner is a surgeon who now makes more money than the average surgeon in America off his reaction YouTube channel as a surgeon that reacts to anime and then tells you the actual injuries that happen in the anime and how bad they are. And he makes more money than he would as a surgeon. Dr. Mike makes more money as a YouTuber. Ali Abdal was a doctor. He makes more money as a YouTuber now. They're YouTube millionaires now. So you have my friend Emily D. Baker, makes more money as a lawyer on YouTube than as a practicing lawyer. Same thing for my friend Devin Stone, Legal Eagle. So there is a value to getting a degree and being a YouTuber. In fact, arguably, as long as it's a highly respected, social proof driven, credentialed thing in the real world, the credibility, respect that it gives you eliminates 99% of the competition on YouTube when you can say doctor reacts, lawyer reacts, surgeon reacts. That's a big deal. So getting a high value degree gives you a backup plan, but it's also very good for a YouTube career if you get a high value degree in that regard, because it's instant social proof and credibility, because doctor reacts, lawyer reacts, surgeon reacts is about as good as millionaire reacts. And it's a good way to become a millionaire YouTuber if you can say doctor reacts, because who's going to compete with you? You have like what, 8, 12 people who speak English who can compete with you. If it's doctor reacts, lawyer reacts. So it's actually giving yourself a very small niche market of high credibility and making spectacle content instantly based on your social proof and being able to put doctor, surgeon, lawyer in the title of your video and it be accurate and not be clickbait. One of my clients, Dr. Mike Diant, Sculpt by Science, fitness videos to help you lose fat, backed by science. He's able to use his credibility as a doctor in his videos because he's a doctor. That's credibility because he gets the brand as Dr. Mike Diamonds, the real Dr. Mike Diamonds. Okay. Then he also has been an award-winning professional bodybuilder, so he gets to use that as social proof and storytelling as well. So real-world accomplishments, either through academia or through your profession or through a real-world competition, award, or accomplishment, give you the ability and authority to make spectacle content that other people can't compete with and make you a destination channel that nobody can compete with because they don't have the credibility, the credential, the social proof to do that. And that social proof is valuable from day one. So like, and in terms of learning skills, that's what this channel is for. This channel will teach you the skills to be a content creator. That's why we're also now doing a twice a week deep dive training lecture format to give the highest value content possible to really answer all the questions, train people up, and give you a learning format that's very similar to an education that you would get traditionally. Because if you went and you sat through a 90-minute lecture from a professor, it will probably not be as good as this one if they try to talk about content creation and have no experience to do it with regard to that. Now, with regard to other things, again, I say that if you're going to go into a high-end white-collar profession, that college can be valuable and it could serve you in your creator career later. You have a great backup plan in either way. Either thing can become your backup plan. So that's what I would say about it. Everybody stop trying to drop out of high school to do YouTube. So yeah. And by the way, if you're going to go to college, work your tail off, you know, just like us first generation immigrant kids, just like people who come to this country, just work your tail off and get scholarships. Just give up a childhood and get good grades and go to college with no student loan debt. Thank me later. How would you go about building a men's self-improvement channel? The niche seems so crowded and hard to differentiate yourself. This is a good question. You'd be very good for the Academy Pro group if you're thinking in this direction. So the thing is, you would look at the holistic issues that men face. You would look at the holistic issues that men face, and then you would look at what allows you to speak to those issues. Have you solved those problems in real life? What credential do you have, or what do you have to show that you solved them for other men? How do you offer that value? So if you're building a men's self-improvement channel, you'd have to come up with some thesis for that self-improvement if you want to stand out. So what would that look like? Would that be a thesis around, becoming what is it they call it? Like, all right, so like instead of pulling the thing that everyone talks about and say, okay, high value man or whatever, you could come up with your own slogan, your own moniker, your own thesis and everything like that, and saying, something like becoming a gentleman of distinction, becoming a man of purpose. You could come up with some philosophy for your channel if you were going to do a men's self-improvement channel, right? You'd come up with some philosophy. And so then you would have maybe a breakdown of things that allow men to say, okay, let's talk about getting men's mental health on track. So that could be one of your pillars of your 5-pillar content strategy. If we use my framework, you could go 5-pillar content strategy where you might go, so remember, we're doing 5 pillars. We're doing 20 video titles per pillar. We're doing 100 videos a year. So it's like, okay, great. We're going to do men's mindset and we're going to do men's mental health. So we're going to address men's mental health issues. So the thing is, you're going to talk about anxiety around money. You're going to talk about anxiety around career and job. You could talk about, social anxiety in men, which isn't talked about. You could talk about introvert versus extrovert. You could talk about being uncomfortable in communicating and stuff like that. You could talk about these things. You could talk about men's depression. You could go multiple layers of that and talk about depression triggers. You could talk about treating it. You could talk about worst advice, best advice for handling depression as a man. You could go into these different things. And these are kind of like some of those topics. And then you start to really flesh out the individual titles around these. So like So the men's mental health is one pillar of a men's self-improvement channel. So then what's another pillar of a men's self-improvement channel? Style and appearance. So with style and appearance, you get to make videos about hair care and grooming. You get to make videos about your appearance and your dress and about your wardrobe and picking out a capsule wardrobe. You get to do all these things to improve a man's style and self-esteem. Maybe that is the thesis of that content pillar is we addressed men's mental health and mindset, and then we address men's style and self-esteem because we're saying here's what this improves. We're going to improve your mental health and mindset. We're going to solve for that. We're going to improve your style and your self-esteem because that's about an image thing. That's about the way you see yourself, the way you see the world. Okay, so that's two pillars right there. So then what's another one? Men's health and fitness. So then that one is, what is it going to be? It's about healthy diet, healthy exercise, healthy habits. And then, so, boom, you have that. It's health centric and everything like that. And then it could be habits and hacks. So boom, you have all of those things. And that's 3 of your 5 pillars right off the bat. So then you just have to develop 2 more pillars that are about men's self-improvement. Obvious one to go to at that point is money. So then it's money management, or it's like men's money or money management. It's something to that degree, right? Something like that. So then you focus on things like getting your credit score up, repairing bad credit, negotiating salaries, building a business, real estate, how to buy your first home, all those things that a person might not have been told and need to know, how to set a budget, how to get out of debt. So then that's all these self-improvement criteria. You can get 20 videos out of that for men. So now we've got 4 pillars. We're 80 videos deep. You need another 20. The other 20 could obviously be the other thing that people care about. What do other people care about? Dating advice and relationships and everything like that. If you wanted to do it to differentiate from the other people, I would focus that one, if you're going to do it, on just how your standards are and how you are as a man, and not really talk about women that much, but more talk about your own actions, etiquette, conduct, red flags, things to look out for, things to not do, red flags, not to trip yourself, how to talk to women, how to hold a conversation, not necessarily pickup game, that sort of thing. I would just differentiate it and go much more on maybe the etiquette side and more on the confidence building side and more on maintaining the relationship side, communication things, stuff like that. Very basic stuff. And then boom, now you have literally 100 videos that you could make, because you can go 20 deep, 5 content pillars, 20 videos deep. That's your playlist. That's your strategy. That's 100 videos you'd have to make. That would be a men's self-improvement channel. Then it's a matter of topics, titles, thumbnails, and timing for all of this: publishing strategy, branding, slogans, scripting, structure, visuals, storytelling, all the other things. And if you want me to really go down into that, you got to hire me. You got to either work with me one-on-one, or you got to join the Awesome Creator Academy Pro group. I can literally do this all day. I can literally build the entire schema for the channel out of thin air. I'm not even joking. You literally saw me do the thing that you were struggling with, which is solve for building a men's self-improvement channel and how to differentiate yourself. Part of differentiating yourself will be how you tackle those content pillars. And that will be in the way that you frame the titles for solving the problems. That'll be a big part of it to stand out. It'll be the branding and design and visual elements of the thumbnails. It will be the hook that really draws people in. And it'll be this core philosophy that makes your channel a go-to destination and something that other men would talk about and would share with other men. And that would be the real goal here. In terms of that, beyond just the searchable component, it'd be the sharing, it'd be the fellowship. And the real kicker here would be the back end business that you build. The back end business that you build on this, which would probably be, if we're being honest, the back end business that you build on this is a membership site and a network. Boom. It's not coaching. It's not necessarily one-on-one calls. The product that you build on the back of this is a membership website, a fellowship, a network. Probably even a physical in-person conference event twice a year. That's what you would build on the back of something like this. Boom. Faceless channel ideas. Best faceless channel ideas would focus on health, relationships, happiness, and money. 4 best things for a faceless channel. Everyone cares about their health. Everyone cares about their wealth. Everyone cares about relationships. Everybody just wants to be happy. So guess what? Happiness, that could be a meditation, motivation channel. Could be any number of things for a faceless channel with that. Could also be, again, as a fifth weird thing, it could be trivia, weird facts, could be something like that. Other weird ideas for a faceless channel. I've always wanted to do a faceless channel that was myths and monsters. So basically, just all the myths and monsters and mythology, myths, monsters, mythology. You could do a history channel and be faceless, and that could be really, really good. You could do a faceless channel that breaks down the history of the greatest companies and brands that we all know and everything like that. Company Man is a really good example of doing this. So I really like that YouTube channel. Magnates Media is another one. There's all kinds of things you could do. Improvement Pill if you want to do self-improvement. Yeah, faceless channels, plenty of ideas. Will I keep this live up? Yes, all the live streams are up. There's a playlist for a lot of them. We also put them in a podcast playlist so you can get the audio versions. So these podcasts, or rather these podcast / live stream replays, these lectures, all of the lectures will be up. We have a playlist for them. It's also a podcast on the channel called the Creator Economy Insider. And so these lectures will be available. Reference my video on YouTube monetization. If you have questions about the requirements for being monetized on YouTube, I cover the updates and I cover how to do it. Yeah, we have our own YouTube creator liaison, my good friend Renee Ritchie. I should be packing, but watching Roberto instead. Yep, thank you, Renee. I should be packing too. I just left New York though, so it won't be as hard on me. But yeah, I should be packing. But I'm literally just bringing my duffel bag and my camera bag this time. I'm not bringing the whole shebang. I'm just gonna bring my duffel bag and my camera bag and be done with it. I think I'll just bring one camera this time. Hi, Roberto. My channel is 5 days old. I'm getting 7K to 10K view range. Is that a good sign? Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's Play Master says, you're talking about quote unquote unfair advantages like PhD. What would you say a variety gaming channel proof of finishing 1K games or being a game developer or what? Honestly, again, I've said this before. I do not really believe in the strategy of a variety gaming channel anymore. I really don't. Aside from like live streaming whatever game you want to play, I just don't believe in it as a thesis because I say this as somebody who I hate to break it to everybody. And this is no offense to you, Let's Play Master at all. I really like you as a community member. Why would I watch a variety Let's Play channel that's not the Rad Brad? If I watch the Rad Brad, I know the audio is going to be perfect. I know the video game is going to be played through very well. And he's going to walk me through and explain it. He's never let me down once when it comes to a game. Make a pitch to me. I need you to pitch me. Why should I watch any Let's Play channel that's not the Rad Brad? I am guaranteed a perfect Let's Play video if I watch him. So why watch anyone else? Because that's what you have to solve for. This is a teachable moment. I'm not dunking on you in any way. I want you and every other Let's Play channel to understand and grasp this lesson. I want you and every other variety gaming channel to grasp this lesson. If I'm a viewer who likes gaming channels and I do like Let's Play content, and there are literally 800 million people a day turning into gaming content of some kind, why watch a small YouTuber play through a game if the Rad Brad is already playing through that game? Why would I watch a small YouTuber? You need to solve for that. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm telling you, you have to be able to solve for that particular problem because that's the challenge, right? Because if I watch him, I know he's a vetted YouTuber. I know that it's not clickbait. It's not bait and switch. I know the audio will be good. I know the gameplay will be good. I know that I'm going to have really good storytelling, someone who loves the game, who's enthusiastic, but also still can walk me through the game, and I will know how to play the game and get where I want to go, and I will enjoy it. And even if I don't have the game, I'll know whether I want to buy the game or not if I watch his content. what would you bring to the table that lets me watch you? You have to solve for that. Now, there are ways I can think of. There are things that I've done. There's things I've done with the content creators that I've coached in gaming. I've worked with a lot of people. I've worked with Wolfie Glick. I've worked with A Drive. I've worked with Leon Hart, who's more card game, like not necessarily a gaming channel. That's another one. Just I'm thinking Pokemon too much right now. I've worked with a lot of Supercell creators that play Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, Clash Mini, Brawl Stars, Boom Beach, that sort of thing. Many of them at 100K. Many of I've helped coach channels 100K, helped coach channels to 1 million. So I've worked with gaming content creators before. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying the value proposition of a gaming content creator has to be very specific, and you have to figure out how you prove you bring high effort content to the table, and you need some form of credibility. So one of the things we do with a lot of the creators in Supercell is the social proof aspect is usually proving that they can win trophies in a certain amount of time in a game, or they're ranking or ladder based. So the thing is, it's very hard without the credibility of being a high ranked player to get people to watch certain things in gaming content. Because again, they know it's very hard to say, why watch you versus watching Valkyrie, Saikuno, the Rad Brad, Disguised Toast, Jack, Cinnamon Toast Ken, why watch you? You have to be able to have something specific enough to bring to the table. My friend Bijou Mike Lucas, you got to be able to figure out what is it you bring to the table? What is it you bring differently that says I can watch you instead of watching a guaranteed perfect video? I'm mostly self-taught. I went to community college. I learned photography and design, but I already knew photography and design before I went to community college. But I went to community college. I didn't finish. Didn't need to. Had all the requirements except for the English requirements. So much for that. Wrote a book anyway and sold more copies of it than any of my professors did. So, haha. So I'm mostly self-taught for everything. There's enough, because I didn't just use online video content. A lot of people get that twisted. I used a lot of books. I used DVD courses because back in my day, YouTube and education. So no, back in my day, I used DVD courses. You had DVDs, and you'd put them into the computer, and you'd walk through tutorials and training, and it'd be structured and be ordered. So I did DVD courses, and I did books. And I did books that had companion courses to them. And I did in-person workshops in real life. And because back in my day, you didn't have all of this. I'm 39. So I learned everything the hard way. I learned both self-taught, but I also had some forms of working in the field. And I also did physical in-person trainings. Yep, Roberto is genius. He's putting together a blueprint right before our eyes. That's why I do it. That's how I do it. That's why I do it. And it works. And the thing is, in terms of things like blueprints, if you've been enjoying these sessions and you like the presentations and the PDFs and everything like that, we actually teach our blueprints. We actually have something called Creator Blueprints. And it's only $9, but we have basically 10 of our PDF blueprints, and it can help you with your strategy, and it can help you get more organized as a content creator. It's only $10. We also have, in addition to the creator blueprints, we have what I told you about. We have those Chat GPT prompts that I talked about. We have creator prompts, and those are only $10. We have over 200 productivity prompts for content creators, including my advanced prompts for title generation. If any of you watched our live workshop on title generation, I showed you for 4 hours straight how to generate titles for videos. So we have the creator prompts. I will link that in the comments and the description as well. So, yep. Good looking info said, wow, you're speaking the exact blueprint I found for my channel. Just getting a gut check from you. Thanks. It's yep, absolutely. Do you recommend writing a book as a content creator? Yes, it is ultimate credibility to write a book. You can use your audience and become a best-selling author if they support you. You can do pre-orders for it. It's a paid business card. It can get you speaking engagements. It can get you leads. It's really good. How accurate is vidIQ when it tells me to make more tech videos? When other videos perform well, like my unboxings? Tried TubeBuddy and didn't have much luck. I don't use the scores for that. I use the search volume. I use the search volume. I don't worry about the scores. I'll compete. I don't worry about the scores. I'll compete. I just need to know that the market is big enough for interest in something. And if the market's big enough, I will just take as much of the market as I can. So I literally only look at how many people search for that content. And I also look a little bit at other people's titles and I use the tools that way. But I only look at other people's titles. I only look at other people's thumbnails. And then I look at how many people are searching for that thing to say that it's viable in the market. Then I compete on title, I compete on thumbnail, and I try to get as much of that market share as I possibly can. Yep. I know Hamza is a self-improvement creator who runs a membership. He's making a lot of money. Never heard of him, but if he's making a lot of money, that's like great. And a membership makes total sense to me. Okay, so follow up on Let's Play Master. I'm also a fan of the Rad Brad. The reason why is he only covers a certain type of game. For example, I believe Baldur's Gate 3 will be the game of the year, and he's never played it. Okay, so here's what you do. Maybe if you do a variety channel, maybe you literally only cover things that you know the bigger creators aren't necessarily covering that will get some market share. And the thing is, if you're going to do Baldur's Gate 3, again, there's a limit to variety because I'd also only do variety within a certain context, right? Primary example. If I was going to do variety, I'm like, oh, I want to play multiple games, then I would only play scary games, right? If I was going to do a variety channel, I'd be like, okay, I'm only going to play scary games. Why? Because I know that there's a big demand for it because of Five Nights at Freddy's and other things like Amnesia and all those other things. And even BioShock is body horror, scary game. Like, so like there's, so I would do things like that I know have an audience and have a fan base. And then I'd go into a sector of the market like scary games because then there's less people to compete with. There are people who still want to watch those things after PewDiePie or Markiplier or somebody is done playing them and has moved on to something else. Then there's still people who want the scary game stuff. So the thing is, I'll absorb that market. The same thing happened for my friend BG Mike Lucas, who plays visual novels and dating sims, is that some big YouTubers played it, but then they moved on to another thing. I think like they were playing some, anime dating sim game, and then they moved on, but there was like tens of millions of views for that series. So BG Mike's like, I'll just make my whole channel these anime dating sims and visual novels because it cultivated an audience that's now been abandoned. So I would like build my entire strategy around that and say I can do variety within a limited genre, but it also has to be a weird enough genre that's not just your standard FPS, MMORPG, blah, blah, blah. Like, so I would just go into a genre and then variety within that genre so that I still have the same type of viewer. And then I don't have people who are like disinterested in something. It's people who would be willing to try games within the same genre. So that's my strategy if that's the case. And so if Rad Brad's not playing Baldur's Gate 3, maybe you go that route. And then you have to think, well, what will people who like Baldur's Gate 3 also like and will have also played? So maybe it's that. And so maybe it's Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring, me. Again, maybe I even go into the Souls and Bloodborne games if I was going a niche channel. So you see what I'm saying? I would just pick a genre and then only have variety within the genre is the way I would approach it. I'd also find things that a big creator created massive hype around and then abandoned, and I would then pick up where they left off and then cater specifically to those people and absorb the market that they abandoned. Yep, you gotta be smarter than the average bear. Hey. Let's see. Yep, I think I explained the Let's Play thing. Yucky Ham Sandwich says, I'm struggling myself too when it comes to Let's Play. It's hard to differentiate myself, still looking for ways. I think that just come with time and experience, I guess. It doesn't have to be that limited. It is down to if you can start to understand some of the higher level concepts I'm talking about with strategy, you start to think about, all right, what's my approach? Am I doing Let's Plays and am I editing VODs, or am I going to be a live stream Let's Play channel? Because the thing is, you get more mileage out of being a variety gamer if you're going the live stream route on the variety, but you also have to perfectly package thumbnails for it. And a lot of you would just get more views if you would perfectly package thumbnails as Let's Play gamers. Get a $300, $200 microphone as Let's Play gamers. That's a perfect microphone. Get your EQing perfect. If you get your audio perfect and you're a Let's Play channel, that goes a long way if you get your EQing and mixing right. Then if you actually are good at storytelling and having fun, that's one thing. But if you get your thumbnail packaging and thumbnail design really, really, really good, then that's going to help you get the clicks and it's going to help win you over. If you jump on a game when it's fresh, like Spider-Man 2, Baldur's Gate, whatever, and you also have killer thumbnails, you're going to get views. People are searching it up. It's going to get views. Even as a small creator, you can get that. Again, as long as the audio is good, you're not turning people off. As long as the thumbnail is good, you're not turning out. That's the Let's Play strategy. Let's Play is predicated on you having a good thumbnail and good audio, and also not having bad titles. Bad titles are, oh, streaming this, that, this date, the game. No, you need better titles than that. And the other thing you could do that could be interesting, that could draw people in, is you could have a small thing off to the side where you could literally do something. Like if I wanted to do something weird to attract people and then get them to watch my live streams and Let's Plays to a degree, I would probably do shorts where I voice dub over the cinema scenes and make them funny and make those shorts and get people interested in me and my channel. And then I would, on my main channel, VODs, on my VODs, aside from the shorts, I do a compilation where I do a compilation of me doing the voiceovers to make the cinema scenes funny with the voiceovers by swapping out my voice for the characters, or even doing AI audio dubbing to do it, and then make the characters say really funny things and messed up things. And then people will be attracted to that and people will share that in their phone. That's a unique concept none of you would even think of. And that's why I'm good at the coaching thing. I will think out of the box. I can come up with all kinds of things you wouldn't have for something as generic as gaming that everybody puts low effort into. Not saying you, but the saturated gaming is saturated with low effort content and saturated with a lack of innovation. That's the problem why gaming stagnates, is even the top creators in gaming aren't innovating anymore. They're not innovating anymore. But there's ways to innovate in gaming, and literally kind of doing some quirky, comedic, abridged gaming with AI dubbing would be comedic and hilarious, and there's infinite potential. And then also then combining that with, oh, if I make these as shorts and they're funny, everyone will share it on their phone. That'll get me some attention. Then they may watch me for the game and the live streams. And then I'm live streaming a couple times a week. And then I'm getting super chats. I'm getting monetized easier. Oh, I'm getting some money from this. Makes perfect sense. Leveraging personality for comedy like PewDiePie did. There's a path for that. And then it starts to, like, there's plenty of ways to make this work. I've said this is why, again, I've worked successfully with gaming content creators. Again, the issue is, how are you guys innovating? Remember, I talk about this clarity framework for a reason. With the clarity framework, how are you going to, as an individual, stand out? What is the yield people get? What do people get out of your content they can't get anywhere else? That's being a destination channel. That's what I'm talking about at Vid Summit. What are your core values? What's the look and feel? Who's the audience? What are you building your reputation on? Like, solving for this. And this clarity framework is in our Creator Blueprints product, along with several of our other presentations. And it's only $10. These things will help with your mindset for being a content creator and give you something to action on and give you some guidance and give you direction. Most people, their biggest problem is they don't have any clarity around what they're doing and why someone would watch and what they bring to the table. What would be a 5-pillar strategy for a coding tutorial channel? So far, I have tutorials, tech news. What would be membership conference focused around this? You're asking me to do your whole content strategy and business strategy for you, my friend. Tim, the developer. I'm telling you, work with me, get the Creator Blueprints, become a member of the Pro Group in Awesome Creator Academy. We could talk about this. I think that literally, in terms of giving people a literal 5-pillar strategy, I'm only going to probably do it once a stream, because at that point, it's just kind of unreasonable. Everyone will ask me to do their whole strategy for them. And that's kind of a business that I built of, I will help you develop your strategy. So what I will do is I'll give you one nugget, because you already have tech news and tutorials, which I don't think the tech news is necessarily the right angle, but maybe it's working for you. But the thing that you have is, there's a difference between tutorials and there's a difference between workshops. So there's a difference between tutorials and there's a difference between workshops. And the thing is, you haven't come up with a live streaming strategy. So maybe live workshops on your channel where you code, and maybe it's a code with me, and it's code with me, and maybe you make it very cozy, and there's some very low key mixed, very low down volume in the background, and you're sitting there coding and you're explaining yourself and you're doing a code with me session, and people can kind of just like very chill with that. So that could be one thing. Really great watch time trap. And I'll give you one other thing that you could look at. You could look at a series that literally addresses problems that developer has, and you can solve for those problems that developer has in their career. Because you're saying, oh, you have a coding and tutorial channel. Here's the thing: coding careers. So one, I'd probably like Tim the Developer is nice. Maybe you have a series, and you call it coding careers, right? Or careers in coding. And maybe you sit there and you solve and you do a Q&A show, or you have a question answer format, and you literally help people with their career issues in coding and getting a career and getting a job in this industry. And that would be radically different than what everyone else has. And then, like I said, maybe you have some code with me sessions. They're live, they're comfy, they're cozy. You leave up the replays. That could be another angle. That's very different than a tutorial in itself with those workshops. And then with the workshops, you could be building something you build in public. It's like, so it's come code with me. Come code with me. Come code away. So you can do something like that. I could come up with more, but again, I told you, I'm not going to sit there and give everybody a 5-pillar strategy in an entire session. Should content creators do public speaking? Is it recommended? It can be helpful. It can be fruitful. It can be profitable. If you like it, then do it. Is the search volume in vidIQ reliable? I don't need it to be exact. I could look at it, take it with a grain of salt, look at it for demand, and if I wanted to try to test whether it's reliable, I could always go into Google's keyword planner in AdWords, Google AdWords keyword planner, and then try and see what the data there is saying, and then try and compare it. Roberto, what tech and software are you using the live stream? I'm using our good friends at StreamYard, who are sponsoring today's video. Shout out to StreamYard, link in the description down below. Thank you to our good friends at StreamYard, who are about to hit 100,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel. So congratulations to the StreamYard team. The study with me streams from that guy were awesome. Yeah, no, exactly. So that could be good. How to grow a baking channel, cute baked goods. Part of it is I would tie it to franchises and to pop culture. I would do a baking channel, and then to get notoriety and to stand out, I would tie it to pop culture and what's relevant right now. Also, some nostalgic things from the past, so that you're not really beholden to trends. If I was doing a baking channel, I would have done a whole mini series a month ago on Barbie aesthetic baked goods. You could probably still get away with that right now if you jump on it. Yucky Ham Sandwich says, appreciate your advice, Roberto. I didn't even think of that. Also need to work on my title. Definitely get practice with storytelling. Thank you. Yeah, with gameplay stuff, I mean, all right, primary example, what's a gaming franchise that I would want to... All right, so Spider-Man 2 is coming out. Spider-Man 2 is coming out. There's so much I could do with that if I was a gaming channel. If I was a gaming channel and Spider-Man 2 is coming out, one, I already know what screen gabs I'm getting. I'm getting like the Venom screen gabs. I'm getting the Carnage screen gabs. I'm getting like some really cool stuff. I'm getting Mary Jane screen grabs, Miles screen grabs, Black Cat if I can get it. I'm getting the different costumes. And so the thing is, I know if I'm doing gameplay stuff and it's like, okay, this is the month or two where I'm focused on Spider-Man 2 for the next 50, 60 days or 100 videos. Like, honestly, if it's a big game like this, a big AAA game like Spider-Man 2, the reality is, in my mind as a gaming channel, like, I'm probably going to, in my head, and this is me being absurd. In my mind as a gaming channel, I'm going to play 3 to 5 AAA big name games that I like in a year if I wanted to do a variety gaming channel. And that also helps with my budget. If I say, okay, I'm only playing these 3 big AAA games or these 5 big AAA games, and that's going to give me, I'm going to do 50 videos on them. Then I'm good. Then that's actually really makes sense as a content strategy. So that's what I would do if I was a variety gamer and how it would work. The 50 videos gives me the loop, the search, the playlist, the evergreen content. It works. Okay. So I know I'm going to get views by sheer volume like a madman. The main thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be strategic about it. I'm going to be strategic about it. So here's the video I'm making. If I'm making Spider-Man 2, I'm making Spider-Man 2. Unlocking all 42 of Miles Morales costumes, Spider-Man 2, PS5. So unlocking all, so like literally the video is now this long form compilation video with chapters where I literally showcase and unlock every one of the Miles Morales Spider-Man costumes in Spider-Man 2. So that's one video right there. Unlocking all of Peter Parker, all 36 of Peter Parker's costumes, Spider-Man 2. Boom. That's another video, and that's a massive unlock. It's like, okay, watch this. Defeating all 68 mini bosses in Spider-Man 2 PS5. Boom. I have that. Okay. It's like, watch this. So that's one and everything like that. Unlocking all spider powers in Spider-Man 2 PS5. So it's like unlocking all 24 spider powers. So I'll use the number. So people are like, also, oh, expectations. And it's like, what's the thing? And it's a big number and that works in videos. So then I start doing that. So boom, I would literally be able to make 50 videos around this and everything. Watch this, beating every mini boss, beating every boss and everything like that. Okay. Getting every spider, getting all 66 spider drones, if that's what the thing is. And so, you know, I would do that in them. Excuse me. I also most likely probably do, with commentary, mind you, all Spider-Man cutscenes, Venom, all Spider-Man cutscenes, Carnage, Spider-Man PS5, everything like that. But I put commentary in them so that it is still, not gonna get striked. So, but like, boom, or claimed. There you go. Like that's another one I do. I'd plan out my 50 videos and how I'm doing it and structuring it. And I'd make like, okay, and now I've got 50 videos for Spider-Man. Yay. And that was one of my big games for the year. Yay, everybody. And the thing is, it's searchable, it's shareable, it's replay value, it's all the things. I have the thumbnails planned. It's very attractive. It's easy to understand what the video is about. It is a clickable video. That's my variety. My variety gaming strategy is predicated on figuring out, here's a big video, a big game that people will play for all year round or longer, or as part of a loved franchise. Here's my 50 videos on it. Here's the thing that I can do. So I'll do the completion style stuff. I'll also do, I'll do all those videos. And maybe I do an episodic based walkthrough of like, all right, how do I walk through this game in like maybe 12 episodes so that I do get some binge watching, but that's enough for people to finish the series. And so maybe it's 12 episodes and that's like a reasonable thing. It's kind of a Netflix strategy of 12 or 15, something like that. Then I have these individual videos like I talked about. And then out of those individual videos, that gets my 50. And so I only play 3 titles, 5 titles. That gives me either 150 videos or that gives me 250 videos like a madman. And then as a result of that, I have all this searchable, bingeable content. And if I'm doing that and I do that for 3 years, all of a sudden in 3 years, I have something like 500 to 1,500 videos, over 1,000 videos in 3 years. There's no way I'm not a 100K channel if I do that. There's no way that, because these are evergreen gaming videos, even with their low CPMs, that I'll get enough views to basically go full time within that 3-year period. If I live stream to farm the footage for my gameplays, if I live stream and I do that multiple times a week and I set a streaming schedule to where it's like, okay, I'm going to play video games 3 times a week with my audience for only 2 hours to farm footage. That gives me the footage that I farm for the rest of my videos. That's kind of my work schedule. Maybe it's 3 times a week, maybe it's 4 times a week, but I set a schedule. I live stream like for 2 hours, maybe 3. Boom. That's my farming my footage, spending time with my community, getting my watch hours in, getting some stuff up. And they know they're watching me play through. They're talking to me. It's commentary. It's community with my audience. I'm getting super chats. I'm getting paid, or I'm getting monetized off of the views. I also use it. And maybe while I'm farming that, if I have merch, I try to push my merch. If I have affiliate links, I try to push my affiliate links, what have you. And so I do that with my streams. I do that. Maybe I'm making some money. I make money on the replays, on the ads, on the live stream on YouTube when monetized. That's my strategy. And so then by streaming 3 times a week, I'm also getting another 150 videos up out of my streams if I'm streaming 3 times a week, or if I'm doing it, hey, Monday through Friday, I stream for work. And then on weekends, I rest, recover, edit, do my thing, whatever. So then maybe that's how I do it. Maybe I stream for 1 to 2 hours Monday through Friday. That farms 10 hours of footage. Then maybe I take Sundays off to completely recruit, completely rest, and maybe I kind of stream a little bit on Saturday, or I work and edit on Saturday all the time. Boom, that's my schedule. I figure something out like that, some weird combination of that. That's how I'd run my gaming channel. And that would be my strategy. That'd be my entire thesis, at least from the format standpoint, and at least the overall. It's not all of my individual pillars. It's like that's a little bit more of like, oh, here's the games I'd make, and here's how I'd farm my footage, and here's how I'd set my schedule, and here's how many videos I make, the frequency, the tactical part of that. Obviously, depending on the game and the way you do your channel is how you build pillars around that. You'd have to do it weirdly to a degree for each of the games, but and then by paying the 3 to 5 games a year, figuring that out. If you're not full time, it's probably going to be 3 a year, to be very real with you. To the strategy is 3 games a year. You pay 1 game at a time. I think it's very hard to do 2 games at a time. I think you pick 1 game at a time. You do this strategy, and then they people like you, and then they want to watch you play the next game, or they don't. You try to maybe get it in the same rough genre of gaming, or it's all AAA titles, whatever. You do that, rinse and repeat, farm views, the end. Like that's probably how I do it. And that's probably what makes sense, practically speaking. If you have a 9 to 5 job, that's how you do it. Any tips for fishing YouTube? Saying at 17K subs, feel limited to where videos actually I catch fish, which, as you know, sometimes doesn't work out. Thanks for any nuggets. I'd study more of the biggest fishing channel in YouTube for one thing. I'd study one of the biggest fishing channels in YouTube. Then I would sit there and I'd ask myself first, are my thumbnails on the level of the biggest fishing channel on YouTube? And then I would start to think about the photography and the story of what makes my thumbnails like the biggest fishing channel on YouTube. And so I kind of try to get to that place first. So that's one of the first things I do because the thumbnail is what will sell it for those fishermen. So then there's that. Then I'd look at the production values of the biggest fisher channel on YouTube, the biggest fishing channel on YouTube, and look at the production values. And then I consider how I can one up those. You probably get a $300 drone and start one upping the biggest channel or one of the biggest top 5 channels. So I'd study the top 5 channels, then I'd figure out how to one up them. Maybe getting a $300 drone one ups them because there's scenes and shots and time lapses and cinematography. So then I'm like, are these people who are doing the other fishing content, are they cinematic? Does their thing feel like a really good story? Does it feel like a show? And so then I start doing that. I also start watching The Deadliest Catch, and I start looking at that, and I start watching Shark Week, and I start thinking, how do I make my YouTube videos feel like that? Because that's an event. So I start thinking in that way. So then between these great thumbnails, think about the cinematography and the draw of that, and making it something people will talk about, people will share, people will like wax poetically about in the fishing community. I start thinking about how do I get the fishing community talking about my channel? So I start thinking in those terms. And so that's what I would do differently. It's not a simple thing to do. For a tutorial channel, maybe I would do all 3 and I would just use those as different styles of video on my channel. So maybe something is do this in 7 steps, do this full guide, do the like, so maybe that's the approach. Yep, I already answered that one. Already answered that one. Already answered that one. Yep, Answer the Public is a great resource for search terms. Try the free version of vidIQ and the free version of TubeBuddy and see how you like them. Oh, we got a new channel member. Appreciate you. All right. I don't see any more super chats, so I think I got all of the super chats. Thank you for the Venn diagram that you shared at the topic of the show. Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, I think it's really important. The Venn diagram she's referring to goes back to here, which is the intersection of value, quality, strategy, and monetization. And I think it's incredibly powerful. And I think this is one of the um, most realistic ways to kind of think of and approach content and everything like that. So again, um, I'll make this full screen real quick for anybody who wants to screenshot it. And going once, going twice, and that was your chance to screenshot it. So there we go. So Thelma Thrift, thank you for the $20 super chat. Elaborate on storytelling other than the great Neistat. What is storytelling? Okay, so I'm glad you asked. Storytelling in and of itself in YouTube can become a very convoluted thing depending on what type of video you're making. And so when you want to talk about storytelling, we have to talk about Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey. Okay. So if you look at, let's say, and again, I know everyone like hates when I use this example. Let's look at Mr. Beast though, right? Let's look at Mr. Beast. If we look at the video where he's like, I was hunted by the FBI, what does he do immediately? He creates the initial conflict and setup, the call to adventure. If this FBI agent can get to the briefcase, he gets to have $100,000. So he set up the stakes and the prize, and that Mr. Beast is evading him. So that sets up now the tension, the conflict, and the story. So now we have that conflict. We're going on the journey of this FBI agent trying to hunt down Mr. Beast, trying to get this briefcase because there's $100,000 on the line. And the conclusion and the payoff is, does the FBI agent get the $100,000 prize? So now you have, here's the resolution to that conflict. Here's the setup. Here's the journey. So, all right, conflict, journey, resolution. Okay. Beginning, middle, end. Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. What is the story of the Lord of the Rings? The story of the Lord of the Rings is that Bilbo Baggins hands down to his great nephew Frodo Baggins the One Ring, the Ring of Invisibility, which is the One Ring created by the Dark Lord Sauron that needs to be destroyed, or Sauron will return from the fiery mountains of doom and doom the world to darkness. So the call to adventure, the conflict setup is, we have the Ring of Power. It needs to go to Mordor. It has to be destroyed. So the payoff and resolution in the end is the Ring of Power needs to be destroyed in the fiery pits of Mordor from whence it came. The journey is the three, books or films of the Lord of the Rings, and that's the journey. That's the adventure. So there's the call to adventure, the actual adventure, and then the resolution, the payoff, the victory. So everything that happens in between, when we initiate the conflict, is the story that sits in between. Here's what enticed us. Here's what is the payoff. So how did we get there? And so that's the journey. That's the through line. So in the Lord of the Rings, that's, we start off in the Shire. We get the One Ring of Power. We build the Fellowship. Then we go on a journey. Fellowship is broken. People are scattered to the winds. We're captured by the enemy. We're raising an army. We have the return of the King of Gondor. We have the rallying of elves, dwarves, and men. And then we have the fierce battle with the Dark Lord. And then ultimately, most unlikely of people ends up saving the world. And so that is the story. So that's the hero's journey. Now, how do you apply that to a YouTube video? It depends on your YouTube video. That's why the genre of challenge videos is doing so well. Like my friend Pat Flynn with Deep Pocket Monster, complete this Pokemon collection in 24 hours or lose everything. So what is he doing? When Pat Flynn says, hey, I've got to complete this set of Pokemon card collecting for this set in 24 hours, or I have to give the entire collection of everything I've gotten in this set up until now away. So then he takes us on a story of he's given himself an impossible task. He's given himself a time limit. He's created a constraint. And the payoff will be, does Pat complete the journey and complete his set? Or is he going to has to give this away to a fan? What's going to happen? We want to know what's going to happen. What's in the box? So we want to know what's going to happen now. So as a result, that's the conflict and that's the story and that's the journey that we have to go on, right? So when we think about it from that perspective and we know, okay, well, that's the journey that we're going on, then we want to know how we get there. Does Pat succeed or does he fail? Who does he meet around the way? What happens? What are the trades that happen? So that is what storytelling would look like in that form. And that's why the challenge format is so good. Okay. Another form of storytelling is when we want to watch something like Jedner, your average consumer, where he does a mega unboxing. We see a thumbnail where he has all these big boxes, and we want to know, okay, what does he have in those boxes? What is he going to get out? So the journey is, wow, we have a mystery here. All these packages, all these things, what could they be? And then the journey is the unboxing. And then the payoff is, oh, wow, look at all the cool tech he has. I want some of that. I'm going to buy it with the links in the description below. So there you have it. Storytelling. Oh, there we go. So D'Angelo Centillin says, what should I be focused on when learning psychology and how to apply it in graphic design, identity design, to be more specific? So for identity design, and what you want to think about with psychology is you want to think about not only human behavior, but you also want to think about prioritization. You want to think about association. You want to think about emotional triggers. You want to think in terms of psychology. You want to think about drivers and desire. And you want to also think about things that allow for pattern recognition as well. So what do I mean by that when I say that? Well, for some of it, it really does come down to what do we associate different colors with, for example. So when we look at color psychology and color theory, that's one part of it. But then you also have to look at other factors. Like you have to look at positive and negative space. You have to look at visual acuity, those type of things. You also want to try to play on some of our primal instincts as well. So those are the kind of things when it comes to learning psychology and applying it in identity design and graphic design specifically. Those are some of the things that you might want to look more into specifically. And so hopefully that's helpful for you. I think that that's probably what I think is a thoughtful answer for that. Thank you for the $10 super chat, by the way. Flight from reality. Hey, Roberto, how do you evaluate if a video is good or not? Say I have a bunch of ideas. What steps should I take to determine which idea stands the best chance of getting views? I would validate the idea by putting it into the YouTube search box and then seeing what happens is probably how I'd evaluate the idea. I'd take the keywords for that, see what Google has going on for it, see if there are any authoritative sources that have bothered to pursue this idea. So I would validate the idea by seeing what the market is already saying in terms of views. And that's how I would make that determination. I would go off of the Sorry about that echo there. Yeah, so no, I would go and I would validate what the market is already saying in terms of that. And that's how I'd make that determination. Because you can just, again, you can look it up. You can go and you can see, hey, here is what is happening in the real world when it comes to this. Here is how many people are searching. Here's how many people have made videos about this. Here are the biggest brands that have done anything around this. So I would look at that heavily. By the way, we only have 184 likes on the video, and I know that not everyone here has been here the entire stream. So I'm going to need you to smash that like button right now if you're still watching. If you're still watching, you got to hit the like button. It's a no-brainer. You have to do it. So yeah, let's see here. So we answered that. We answered that one. How would you do a fashion channel framed around creating a brand new garment with intent to manufacture that garment and garner an audience slash customer? I might have to tie it to pop culture again because then I can get people to pay attention to it. So I need to leverage media figures and people that the fashion viewer would respect and would care about. And so then that's obviously going to be, reality TV stars, real housewives, Kardashians, that sort of thing. So I would have to take advantage of that and leverage that for attention and then work that into the thing that I'm doing or that I'm recreating. And then that's how you'd reach that audience, in my opinion. Let's see. Yep. Also, yes, chapter 2 in my book elaborates on building personal brands. Yep. 100%. All right. I think that's it for tonight. It's getting pretty late. I think we're gonna call it a night. There's other things I need to prepare for and do for the week. So I think this is a good place to pretty much bookmark things. I want to thank everybody for tuning into the stream tonight. I want to thank our friends over at StreamYard as our sponsor yet again. Appreciate you guys. Couldn't do it without you. So check out StreamYard, linked in the description down below. And we're going to close out the evening with playing my book trailer. Links to everything will be in the description down below. But I appreciate you guys. And make sure you're checking out all the products, checking out all the things at awesomecreatoracademy.com that we offer. We're going to close it out with the trailer for my book. If you have not got it, check it out on Amazon. Create Something Awesome: How Creators Are Profiting from Their Passion in the Creator Economy. Best-selling book on Amazon. Is going to help you be a better content creator. And I really appreciate all of you tuning in. Make sure you're checking out our next scheduled stream. I think the next one is scheduled for Saturday because I'm going to be in New York Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I have to do a coaching call when I get back, and then we have to just basically schedule the stream for Saturday about 6:30. So we'll see you then. Everybody stay awesome. Take care. I finally did it. I finished my book, Create Something Awesome: How Content Creators Are Profiting from Their Passion in the Creator Economy. The book is available now in paperback and in Kindle, where you can read it on any e-reader or device. And I'm really excited about this. The audiobook is coming soon, probably October 2022. Oh my God, it's so great to be able to have this book done, put it up on the bookshelf, and to know that all of you who appreciate it, you want to hear what I have to say about the creator economy, becoming a full-time content creator, and what the experience and lifestyle of being a content creator actually is like. This is the book. I put 20 chapters in here of the most important things I think that content creators could be focusing on today. I talk about the mental health aspect of being a content creator, getting discouraged, imposter syndrome, not charging what you're worth, and mostly actionable advice around monetizing your content properly, but also how to build an audience on your authenticity and what it's really like to start from zero, even today. So if you're interested, make sure you're checking out the book. You can order it on Amazon. You also probably order it in a lot of other places like Barnes & Noble, and it will be coming to other bookstores soon. Really excited about it. Thank you for all the support and love around the book and the positive reviews. Now go ahead and pick it up and make sure you